live, I think about you guys. And I'm like, I wonder what everyone else is doing. Because you guys are awesome. Let's go ahead and get people in here. If you are, once I get you up on the panel, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself as you join the panel. And we will go ahead and get the conversation started here in just a moment. If you are interested in joining the panel, go ahead and request up. I am excited to talk to each and every person. If you are somebody that is just so thrilled about what Donald Trump has done so far and what Donald Trump is doing, go ahead and request up. If you are someone that is not so excited, you're worried, like things just aren't going well, go ahead and request up. This is Late Nights with Santana, and we are talking to everyone. Hey, Zeus, how are you? All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, if you are interested in joining the conversation, no matter what side of the aisle that you land on, if you're someone that's excited about what Donald Trump and this Trump administration is doing, go ahead and request up. If you are someone that's not excited about it, if you are someone that is worried or whatever the case may be, go ahead and request up. We are talking to each and every person. Go ahead and request up. We're going to go around the panel and do a quick introduction. Native Black, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you? I am 29 from Philly, PA, and I voted for Harris.
Awesome. That's not what I was going to ask, but thank you for giving that. Native, question for you. On a scale from 1 to 10, how excited are you about what this Trump administration is doing?
With 10 being really excited and 1 being
not excited. Yep.
Yeah. I am at a -2.
That's not on the scale. Everybody always wants to go off the scale. We got to stay within 1 to 10.
All right, 1.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much. Is it Kev, or how do I say your username, friend?
Kev works.
Kev. Okay. Kev, how are you this evening?
Good.
Hey, Barbara. Kev, on a scale from 1 to 10, how excited are you about what this Trump administration is doing?
1.
Ooh, okay. All right. Give me 1 second. Brett Cross, my white brother. What up, Brett?
What's up, brother?
You know, I was texting my wife talking so much trash about you earlier. I'm not gonna say why, but you know why. I'm not gonna say why, but you know why. You know why.
I know why.
Anyway, Brett.
What was the response?
My wife really likes you, Brett. I'll just leave it at that. So, whatever. Anyway, Brett, on a scale from 1 to 10, how excited are you about what this Trump administration is doing?
1 to 10?
Mm-hmm.
I'll say 1. I want to say 0 because there's no excitement, but I'll stick with 1 just to fit within the confines of the 1 to 10 scale.
Okay, perfect. Give me a second here. Izzy, what up, Izzy?
Santana just lets anyone up here.
What's up, Santana? You know what? Like, first of all, Izzy is actually an active participant in our community. He doesn't come by just to, take shots or whatnot. So I see Izzy more than I see you. So first of all, Izzy's a part of the community. You're a guest. So there's that.
But I'm still invited. So that's all that matters. And talk about 2A more and I'll be here more, brother. Damn.
You got a point. Izzy, on a scale from 1 to 10, how excited are you about what this Trump administration is doing?
You already know it's a 1.
Yeah. I understand. All right. So we got a couple more people in the box. I'm going to bring a couple more people in, but I would really like to get some people in that are excited about the direction of this country, that are excited about what this Trump administration is doing, that's just over the moon, or even just, maybe a 6 or higher. Gucci, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Gucci, on a scale from 1 to 10, how excited are you about what this Trump administration is doing?
1.
Ooh, okay. Perfect. All right, guys. So we have a couple of spots left open, and I want to leave those spots open specifically for people that are actually excited about what this Trump administration is doing. So again, I'm going to leave this box open, these 3 boxes open, if you are in the request and you're not necessarily someone that's excited about what's happening with this Trump administration, please, please, please don't drop out or don't request for now. I will get more people in, but if you are someone that is actually excited about what this Trump administration is doing, actually excited about the direction that our country is heading, go ahead and request up. If you are in the box right now and you are not someone that's excited, please drop out. Please, please, please drop out. I see a couple of people in the box. And if you are in the box and you're not excited, please, please, please drop out because I'm going to bring you in. But if you are not excited, then I'm going to have to drop you down for now. All right. All right. I'm going to go ahead and bring you in.
Now.
Hey, William, how are you?
What's going on, my brother?
Good, good. William, how excited are you on a scale from 1 to 10? Or I'm sorry, are you someone that's excited about what's happening under this Trump administration and the direction that the country's heading?
I'm very excited. I'm 10 excited.
Okay. And just to verify, did you vote for Trump?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys, we have a couple of more spots left open on the box. If you are interested in joining and you are someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading, you are excited about what this Trump administration is doing, you are excited about what's happening, go ahead and request up and I will give you a spot. We definitely want to get a couple more people in that are actually excited about the direction that the country is heading. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started here, guys. Keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up. We're only at 16,000 likes. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 50,000 likes. Let's get the shares up as well. Let's get the shares up to 100 shares. Also, if we can keep knocking out this daily gift goal, it's the little roses. If we can knock out the gift goal a couple of times, it will help push us out to the FYP. So please do all the wonderful things. With that being said, just a quick reminder to the people on the panel, please be mindful and use TikTok friendly language. What does that mean? That means using words like C19, unalive, schmex, mustache man, schmurder, things like that not only protect your TikTok, but it also protects the live. And also, guys, just a reminder, this is a safe and friendly community. What does that mean? That means we don't deal with any of the isms, racism, sexism, classism. We also don't deal with any of the phobias, homophobia, transphobia, none of that. We don't play that on the panel nor in the comments. So if you are participating in that on the panel or in the comments, you will be muted and blocked. My mods do not play that. Speaking of my mods, guys, please remember, caps are for mods. Caps are for mods, and so if you use caps, it will actually pull my eyes away from the panel and to the chat, and I want to be able to make sure that we're focusing on these conversations, so please do not use caps. With that being said, guys, keep tapping the screen, share the live. I'm going to keep resetting this daily gift goal to these little small goals. If we can keep knocking these out, again, this will help push us out to the FYP. Last but not least, what up YouTube? What up Twitch? Guys, we do have, if you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, definitely please consider donating. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, consider donating. And if you're on YouTube watching, you can definitely support through a super chat, and I will read that out. With that being said, if you are in the request, please at this moment only request up if you are someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading. At this moment, only request up if you're excited about the direction that the country is heading. I don't want to overload the panel, so these boxes are open for people that's excited. William, I'm going to give you the floor first, my friend. So William, you are excited.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So William, I want you to tell me why you're excited, but if you don't mind, because I do have a question and I would really like to get your thoughts on this, because this is something that I've thrown out to multiple Trump supporters. I would love to hear your thoughts on the actual war plans that went back and forth over Signal, and how a journalist got wrapped into finding out about those war plans. Like, where's your stance? Where's your position? Do you think some people need to lose their jobs? Like, where are we? And then after that, I would love to hear why you're excited about what Trump is doing.
The war plans things, there's a lot of ambiguity in it. And I'll say this. Of course, now people can feed into your phone, tap your phone, track your texts, And who's to say that's not what happened? Now, they're trying to call it an accident, but I think that, what matters about a message is what's in it. What was really in it that would be considered detrimental to American lives or the lives of people that were in the message? Nothing. So it's basically just another ad hoc rumor to add to the pile to create some sort of social disapproval of Donald Trump, because he's going to be president for 4 more years. So there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay. All right. So let's do this. I don't know where Brett must have had like some he must have been cooking potato salad and forgot to put the raisins in, so that's why he left. I'm sure that's why Brett left.
It's past his bedtime.
Yeah, he is old. Brett is old. All right. So William, it's your thought process that the actual text messages, or not text message, but the utilization of Signal, like I'm a little bit confused. Are you saying that it might not actually been what we thought it was, or what exactly? I'm confused, Frank. Clarify that a little bit more for me, please.
I don't think it's as important as it's being played to be imperative to national security or anything like that.
Okay.
Obviously, if it was, first of all, it would have been on paper, and it would have been the words would have been said in a forum of people in a room somewhere first.
Wait,
now,
hold on.
If the text would have came from actual written documents,
hold on. Just to make sure I have
more serious.
Right, just to make sure I have this accurate. You're saying that the text messages would have been on paper if it was important.
They would have been on paper first. Absolutely.
So are you under the assumption that the actual war plans, like the drawing up of the war plans, aren't physically documented somewhere?
I don't believe they are.
Okay. All right, hold that thought just for a second.
I know you got an answer.
No, I don't. I'm actually gonna let me say this, guys. For anyone that's requesting up, please remember I am only looking for people that are excited about the direction that the country is heading, someone that supports this Trump administration, someone that is absolutely just over the moon, or at the very least a 6 or higher, right? Only request up if you are in that boat. If you are not someone that's excited, please drop out. Please drop out for now. I will get more quote unquote friendlies in later, but I don't want to overload the panel. So if you are not someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading, and I bring you in, I will drop you for now. You can request up later. But again, I want to get a couple more people on the panel that are actually excited about the direction that the country is heading under this Trump administration. Terry, are you excited about the direction? Oh, no, Terry dropped herself. Izzy.
Yes.
What was yours?
So, William, real quick before we go into this, I do have a very important question for you. Have you ever held any type of a security clearance with the federal government?
No.
Okay. So, I think it is very important to know that anything that it can be simply just classified, or it could also be unclassified, but for official use only. Any classification really is not to be discussed via signal message, text message, whatever. And the reason that the Department of Defense primarily uses Signal is because it is end-to-end encrypted. So it's not like it's something that's easy to hack, or really that would be hacked. Secondly, to say that it's not on paper is just dishonest. It is going to be on paper somewhere, because the orders had been drawn up and the orders had been given to send out. We call that a warno in the military. And so here's the thing. I spent 9.5 years in the Army, every single year, and sometimes twice a year, actually, because it just gets all fucky. I'm sorry, Mama Jones. I know you're watching.
Exactly. I don't know if she's here yet, but language.
Sorry, Mama Jones, if you're in here. I had to do an annual cybersecurity awareness training to include something like this, right? You do not discuss any type of classified information in any type of media that can be traced. The only place that it is acceptable and allowable to be discussed is in a SCIF, which would be basically secure information facility. So we have the Secretary of Defense, the Vice President, the what's Tulsi Gabbard, the Secretary of Intelligence or National Security.
Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard.
We have multiple people who are at the head of these departments, right? And they're discussing these things on Signal. That right there, in and of itself, is just it is blatantly bad. Right, because me, when I was a junior enlisted soldier and when I was a non-commissioned officer, had I done that and it had gotten leaked out to the press somehow, my career would have been over. It would have been over, and I most likely would have been facing time at Leavenworth. But these jokers get to just sit here and la-di-da, oopsies, It is baffling to me. My flabbers have been absolutely gasted.
William, would you like to respond to that at all? Because again, that's the part that is surprising to me. Yesterday, it seemed like more people were like, "Oh no, this is bad," but now, 24 hours later, it seems like there's more people that lean right that are making excuses, and they're like, "Well, maybe I don't think it's that bad." Like, William, help me understand. Like, are you not worried about the national security under this Trump administration when they can't even make sure that information that's being shared that's classified stays classified?
There's a couple of things about it. And it's in question form, but I'm not questioning you.
Okay.
I'm just saying what I think about it. Why would these people who are obviously able to meet somewhere privately discuss? Why would a whole meeting be discussed by text message through whatever medium? I could understand nuances about what they talked about, but actually everything verbatim, it shows me that there's somebody who was made privy to the meeting, somehow inculcated their system and made America.
Wait, hold on, William, you lost me for a second. They did what to the system?
They inculcated the system, which means they went into it and flipped it so everybody could see it. But they had to have the meeting personally somewhere. It would be ridiculous. Who would want to text that much? It's ridiculous.
William, do you mean infiltrated, my friend?
Inculcate is a word too.
Is he K? I know you're watching. K, am I wrong? Is that a word, K?
Yeah,
it's a word, but he's using it wrong.
Inculcated.
Okay, what does it mean then?
Inculcated.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta Google this. I'm sorry now. I'm. Hold on, because now. Oh, okay.
All right.
Can you spell it?
I think it's INCOCATE.
It's INCULCATE.
Inculcate, right? You're right.
And it's to instill.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah. K said you're inaccurate.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just using
K's
it wrong.
always right.
Okay.
I think the word that you were actually looking for was infiltrated. Like that word fits what you were your sentence. Okay.
You say tomato, I say tomato. You say get them, I say got them.
No.
Yeah, I mean, but that's like you. That's like you were just saying. Yeah, can you put that potato on my sandwich instead of the tomato on my sandwich?
Okay, dude.
Okay. I'm sorry. We got sidetracked. Sidetracked. I apologize.
No problem.
Say the sentence again. I'm sorry. Say the sentence again.
Well, they somehow finagled a way to get into these messages and make them privy to the American people for nothing, because it didn't cost any American any lives. It didn't cost any money. And basically, it shows that there's somebody who is at hand who's more powerful than the American government. It's kind of
Okay,
like
okay.
it's
So
kind of
it's
like the
yeah.
temp on
Okay,
Trump's life.
okay,
There's
okay.
somebody
Cool.
at a higher level who
Okay, okay.
wants Trump to fail. Who
Okay,
wants y'all to
hold tight for a second, William. Oh,
and be crazy.
whoa. Just slow down for me half a second, William. Guys, if you are someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading, go ahead and request up. If you are someone that's excited, I know we got some friendlies in the box, and I promise you, I see all of you guys that are in the box that are friendlies, and I will get you in just a moment, but I want to get more people that lean towards William and the right before we bring in any more friendlies. So if you are in the request and you are someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading, go ahead and drop a me in the chat or request up, and I will bring you in immediately. Gucci, what are your thoughts? I mean, like, is he off base? Does he, like, do you think that someone, you know, I'm gonna say infiltrated because I feel like that's the right place to put that word, but infiltrated this system to make it seem like there's not, even though like things have been verified and now they're having hearings on the Senate floor. Like, where do you stand, Gucci?
I just want to know how he thinks they infiltrated the chat to be able to expose it. If it's so secure, how did they infiltrate it? William.
Man, they got super hackers in this world.
Oh, super hackers. Oh, wow. So then it's not as secure as they're making it out to seem, right?
Ain't nothing secure
anyone can
with the right hacker.
Bro.
I mean, obviously somebody would have to be really good at it to go into the government system, but it happens regularly.
Okay. So if nothing is secure, why don't more of these things come out to the public?
Well, we're at a time where a picture
where they added.
Hold on, William. Let Gucci finish.
Where they added, like idiots, someone who wasn't supposed to be there. They didn't realize it. Exposed all the secrets. If it was so secure, why haven't we heard about more of these things happening?
There's a phrase called pick your spots. And like I said, this is an incident that's important to people, but it's not really a matter of national security per se. It's a matter of trying to show Trump's weakness and incapability. And it failed, to be honest.
Okay. Hold on one second. Ed, are you someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading under this Trump administration? Ed, are you there, friend? Ed, are you there? Okay, Ed going once. Ed going twice. All right, Ed, I'm going to drop you down. Guys, again, only request up if you're someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading under this Trump administration. We are trying to balance out the panel a little bit more. We don't want to actually overload the panel. Also, let me read these out, guys. Deb is in the chat for H. Ruckers. Hey, H. Ruckers, who sent a $2 sent a $2 donation saying, love the late nights. I know that's right. Debbie's in the chat for H. Ruckers. Debbie's in the chat for Gene, who sent a $1 donation, said it would be nice if some brain cells would infiltrate William's head. Debbie's in the chat for Gene, who sent that $1 donation. Also, guys, Debbie's in the chat for Christopher, who sent a $2 donation, said gingerbread man for the win. Also, let's tap the screen, share the live, do all the wonderful things. Love your favorite LeBron obsessed mod. Listen. Love you, Christopher. Guys, thank you so much for those donations. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. Also, if you are watching over on YouTube and you want to support the live, you can send a super chat. And with sending a super chat, if you want to leave a message, I will read that message out as well. Guys, keep tapping the screen, share the live. All right, so Native, can you make sense of this at all? Like, because yeah, someone put it in the chat. I feel like it's just conspiracy theories and not based off any substance. So what are your thoughts around like this actual national security breach?
So yeah, I mean, my thoughts are exactly along the same lines of the person commented that it was like more conspiracy thing. So William, we can only go by off of like what we know. Like what we know is that the journalist was added. What we do know is they weren't using a government sanctioned app or communication tool to talk about these highly sensitive information. And I don't see how it's lost on you that this is a serious national security risk. It's not a matter of if it materialized in this particular instance into something harmful for Americans, but it matters if what else has been talked about over these texts. Like how else are they communicating? And you keep directing this back to Trump, and this is why I say a lot of people who voted for Trump are just for him because we're talking about the incompetencies of his administrations. Like we're not. At least I'm not directly talking about Trump. I'm just talking about how it was handled for the people that were in the group chat. Like I don't see how you don't think this is a massive issue in their communication. And we can't go on conspiracy. We have to go on what we know. And what we know, we can conclude that it was incompetencies within their administration.
William, would you like to reply to that at all, friend?
Well, it kind of goes into what I said. They want a fallibility to be shown about Donald Trump's administration.
Do you mean
it could have happened to anybody? It could have happened to anybody.
You said a fallibility.
Yeah, they want to show some weakness and, like I said, some things that he can't. His inadequacies as a POTUS and the inadequacies of his cabinet and all of that. And it really has no teeth in the sense of this guy that did it, he's not going to jail. Nobody lost their lives. So they kind of just did it as a precursor to show that Donald Trump isn't the guy that we think he is. But like I said, anybody can be hacked. I don't care what kind of money you have, what kind of computer you have, you can be hacked. There are people that can hack into anything besides this reporter being there. That's just basically an excuse, really. But somebody was privy to these messages and made them public on purpose.
Where are you getting that they were hacked into?
It just makes sense.
But
because
hold on, William. Think about what Native is saying.
Yeah.
Let's stick to Occam's razor.
All right. If it was just a reporter, let me put it this way. If it was just a reporter having a report, which they say he had it over a week.
Right.
He could have just reported on this information leaking.
But do you know why he wait. Yeah. Did you actually read the Atlantic article and why he didn't?
No, I didn't.
Okay. What else do you actually not what can you speculate, but what do you actually know about the story? Like the facts that you know.
Well, I basically know just the gist of it, how it kind of came about, what the contents of the text were, not a bunch of stuff. I didn't really research about it, but
okay. So just to let you know, the reason why he actually didn't come forward is because he thought that it couldn't have been real. He thought that like there's no way that this could actually be real. Mm-hmm. And even more than that, the actual information has been verified. That's why like they verified that yes, this actually happened. And that's why they held Senate hearings on that today. And multiple people within the intelligence community had to go in front of the Senate. So I guess, William, the question would be, if you think that there was, if this wasn't real or there was a quote unquote hack or anything, then one, why would the actual information already be verified? And two, why would there actually be hearings about this? Like, if it wasn't real?
I didn't say it wasn't real. I said it had no teeth. And it's really, in my opinion, it's a second-class news story because there was no harm done from it. It's kind of like,
so you don't
gossip.
think that you don't think that, like, our actual war plans being out and knowing that, not having necessarily a safe chain of custody when it comes to confidential information, you don't think that's an issue? Forget specifically what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because this is what it boils down to. This classified information was not properly secured. You don't think that's a problem for our national security?
Man, it's more black dudes on O Block than they are Houthis. Listen, that's what makes it ridiculous.
What does that have to do with anything, William? Like,
how many Houthis are there? Are there 10 million of them? Come on, man.
Wait, William. No. Roll it forward, William. Roll it forward. Not just you're being narrow-minded, right?
How many Houthi soldiers are there?
William, roll it forward just for half a second. Think about what's next. If they can't secure this quote unquote small initiative.
There we go.
Right, no, I'm
the premise of it.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting here trying to use your logic. So if this small thing couldn't even be secured, how are they going to secure larger things? Like, if it's something bigger and they can't even take care of the small things, then what are they going to do with the big things, William?
Do you know what makes people buy burglar alarms? Attempted burglaries in their houses or previous burglaries.
Okay.
They're probably, I'm sure, going to tighten down on the things they do. They're probably going to change the system they use in which to change their messages and everything else.
Okay.
That's what's called a precaution.
I hear you. Go on mute for me just a minute, please, my friend. Just a minute. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Keep tapping the screen. Share the live. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 100,000 likes. Let's get the shares up to 200 shares. Let's knock out the daily gift goal. I'm going to keep resetting them to like smaller goals so we can actually continue to knock those out. Also, guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. If you are over on YouTube and you would like to actually support, you can send a super chat. Do all the wonderful things. Just to verify, Uncle Dude, are you someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading under this Trump administration?
No, I am not.
Okay. All right. Hold tight for me just a moment. Because I might have to drop you down. I originally said I only wanted people. Thank you so much for the sub. I only wanted people that are excited about the direction that the country is heading for now, just because I don't want to overload the panel. So actually, I'm okay. I'm gonna drop you down. Thank you so much, friend. Also, guys, Debbie's in the chat for Toxic Pineapple 2, who just sent 100 bits over on Twitch. Thank you so much for that 100 bits. Doolittle, are you someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading under this Trump administration?
Yes, but not the way William is. So,
did you vote for Trump?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm going to drop you down for now, my friend. You can request backup, okay?
Okay. Thanks.
Right. I see there's multiple people in the request. Is there anyone that's currently in the request that's excited about the direction that the country is heading under this Trump administration? If you're in the request and you're excited, go ahead and drop a me and I'll bring you in. If you are repping 47, I got you. I'll go ahead and bring you in. Is there anyone else that's in the request that is excited about the direction that the country is heading under this Trump administration? We are only, as of right now, only looking for more people that's excited about the direction that the country is heading under this Trump administration, so we can actually balance out the panel a little bit. So if you are someone that's excited and you're in the request, just drop a me in the chat, or you can just drop a me in the chat and I will bring you up. All right, Reppin 47, you are someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading under this Trump administration, right?
I'm ecstatic.
Awesome, awesome. And just to verify as well, you voted for Trump.
Yes, sir.
Perfect, perfect. Give me just one moment here, okay? All right. RC. RC, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm trying to make sense of this. But we we haven't gotten to speak yet, and I haven't heard your actual opinion on where you stand with this whole security breach. So, with that being said, what are your thoughts?
That it's another great example of GOP hypocrisy on a massive scale. I mean, they basically made an entire campaign, Trump did, about how Hillary was supposed to be disqualified because she might have allowed classified information to be emailed. And they weren't even accusing her of sending it to people who weren't cleared to see it. They were just saying that if she emailed it at all from an unsecured, supposedly unsecured server, that meant she couldn't be president. Maybe even should go to jail, right? Lock her up. And then we know for a fact that the head of the Department of Defense, the vice president, the director of national intelligence, the CIA director, all these people except for Trump somehow Trump didn't know anything about this as president. But all these other people were on an unsecure chat, and then they accidentally included a journalist. It's the most incompetent thing I think I've maybe ever seen out of government when it comes to national security threats. And for them to have made it they investigated Hillary across 2 administrations over the emails thing. And they eventually found that she had done nothing illegal. I would like to the very least see the same energy from Republicans right now investigating what the hell's going on, because they didn't even want to answer questions today about who knew what when. And again, Trump is going to try to walk away with plausible deniability. He's the president.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about that. Let's do this real quick. Reppin 47. What's your perspective? And I'm not even talking about like Donald Trump, right? Let's put Trump aside, but just the situation, understanding that our national security is literally in jeopardy because we can't secure our actual information. Like, what do you think about the situation?
I think exactly what Tulsi Gabbard said, that there was no classified information. I do believe that the NSA director or advisor needs to be fired. But again, I feel like they're just going to sweep it under the rug. Nothing's going to happen. And that's my honest opinion about it.
Are you concerned about that though? Because like, and this is what I was trying to tell William. Because William is like, oh, it's a small thing. Yeah, I mean, like overall, we weren't compromised because it didn't go anywhere. But does it worry you that if we can't take care of the small things, if there's like a big thing that happened?
It does worry me, and but I mean, we're used to this, right? We're used to this. Politicians do shady shit, and of
Language
course,
friend, my mom is watching this. Sorry,
your
go
mom
ahead.
is online.
No, my mom watches the show.
Oh, nice.
We have to use friendly language because my mom watches.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, I mean, yeah, we all know how politicians are, how shady they are. We've seen that, how they acted today in the Senate hearing, and I mean, yeah, they're just gonna sweep it under the rug. I'll say this: I'll be surprised if anybody gets fired.
Yeah, I genuinely would like to say I disagree with you, but I honestly can't. I really can't. Okay. All right, 1 second here. All right, so I guess this is what I want to do. Let me just read this off. W's in the chat for Amanda. Thank you so much, Amanda. Million W's in the chat for Amanda, who sent a $40 donation to say thank you for working so hard to make this world a better place. Amanda, you are absolutely too kind. Thank you for that $40 donation through Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support the live. Also, if you're on YouTube and you want to send a super chat, you can send a super chat to support the live, and I will read that out as well. I want to come back to William for a second. So, William, you are someone that you don't think this was a big deal, right? So it sounds like more so whatever you are excited about outweighs like that major thing, right? But, and I do say but, there are multiple things that are happening and they're kind of concerning, right? Whether it's the fact that Donald Trump is facing multiple injunctions, right? Because he literally keeps signing executive orders that are deemed to be illegal. William, William, how old are you, friend? Approximately
43.
43?
Yeah.
God, William, you sound like it's a hard 43. Okay, 43.
Right.
William, would it be an assumption to make that you're a black man?
Yeah, that's a great assumption.
Okay. William, how do you feel about the fact that the Trump administration signed an executive order that allows segregation to take place within federal buildings again? Like, that's not something that worries you?
I'd like to get more on it, but it sounds from its onset ridiculous. I'll say that. But we're being fed a large diet of crazy information, and people are going everywhere with it. They're turning these apps into the barbershop, and it's kind of ridiculous. But I'd like to read more about how he could do that and segregate just black people. I believe you can lose rights, but I believe any right that we have, everybody will lose it. So how does that gonna work? You go to walk into a building and say, hold on, you're a black guy. Wait a minute. That's ridiculous, man. In my opinion, what we need to focus on is the shambles that this country was left in. And one great realization that this nation right now, as it stands, is the nation that Barack Obama wanted the hope and change to turn into. We've had 12 years of these Democrats, 4 tumultuous years of Donald Trump, where he basically couldn't do a lot of things because
okay,
of
I'm gonna
all
have
these
to
crazy accusations.
Okay, we're gonna have to stop you right there. We gotta stop you right there for a second because your soapbox just like tipped over.
Cool.
Whoa. So yeah, let's do this. I want to show you something, but before I show you this, I do want to. This is something that was actually shared with me, and I feel like there's almost 800 people in here hanging out. So I do want to actually pass on the information that it looks like in Pennsylvania, the House of Representatives will continue to actually hold their lead. It looks like the Democrat Dan. I'm not even gonna try to say this name. I'm just gonna put it on the screen because I would butcher this name. But long story short, there was a special election that was held, and in that special election, the Democrat was able to retain the seat after the passing of one of the House members who passed away in January. And so they continue to actually hold the House legislation in Pennsylvania, which is massive for multiple reasons, right? Massive because this is the first, one of the first special elections since the main election, right? Where Donald Trump has had power, and you can see the effects of the things that he's doing actually being, actually capitalized on by the Democratic Party. But also, too, we do understand how important Pennsylvania is as a whole. So I just wanted to make sure that I shared that with everyone. Great news. Also, William, I wanted to share this with you. This is an NPR article that speaks on the segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned within federal contracts, right? I would definitely say I would love for you to take a moment just to read through this article and actually understand what this is setting the stage for, right? Because it's not just about saying, oh, you can't come in here, or oh, you can't do this, but it really goes more into depth as far as like the history behind it. Especially, I mean, I thought you were a little bit older, but you're 43, so I think it would be good for you to actually read through it, and it gives you more information about that, but it also speaks on why that's such a tough thing. But with that being said, I actually want to pass the floor to Native, which Native, I know you're out of the app. Native, there we go, you're back. Native, why, what are your thoughts? Because William here, our friend William, seems to believe that, you know, them willing to actually bring back segregation within federal buildings, it's not a big deal. What are your thoughts?
I mean, so my thoughts is, so like two things. So like I know, because I was in a discussion with this earlier with a few other people, and I know that federally we're still protected against
I got it. Sorry.
Yes,
No,
I
no.
know. I know federally we're still protected against segregation or discrimination, but the very act is just like symbolic. My question is, why even touch it? Like, why are we even approaching it? And it's just going along with the lines of the conversation about DEI being targeted and certain things that are specifically geared to protect marginalized communities. Like, why are we even touching it? And I think we people in those minorities, we have every right to be a bit of alarmed, even though nothing explicitly has passed or has been brought forth to bars from any kind of like facilities or anything. I still think we have the right to be, you know, a little suspicious as to where this is going. So I just think symbolically it was a very distasteful thing to do.
William, any thoughts on that?
Yes. Why aren't the Democratic leaders reporting on this? Why aren't they setting up something to counter this? Why aren't they speaking on it? Why aren't they up in arms about it? Because it's a lie, man. And it's a printed misconception. Like I said, these people,
Okay, wait.
everybody ain't
So
educated.
wait, hold on. So you said it's a printed misconception.
Yes.
What does the EO say?
You should be able to tell me how it's exactly going to affect any black person who wants to enter these buildings. It's not going to affect them. It was taken down probably because it's antiquated. You don't need it anymore.
Okay,
Black people can go
hold on.
anywhere. We can live anywhere.
Hold on. So
It's
make
ridiculous.
sure I understand this.
Yeah.
You're saying that you think that it's antiquated. Cool. Two things,
Yeah.
William. One, what does the EO exactly say? Right? And two, what did it overturn? Because it did overturn something. So tell me those two things.
The executive order that affected this was part of the diversity and equity. No, it was part of the diversity and equity and inclusion thing that has been, for the most part, disbanded on a sexual basis. So
What?
they're taking these things like they also
hold on,
yeah.
William. What?
It's part of the DEI.
What does DEIA have to do with schmexual? Like, I'm confused.
Well, I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. Of course, when the POTUS said they were two genders, that affected.
Oh, you're going down transphobia. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that.
But
okay, hold on. So stop for a second. Stop. No. Stop for a second, William. Stop.
Yeah.
What is DEIA? Tell me what
Diversity,
it stands for.
Equity, inclusion, and I don't know what the A is.
Okay.
What?
Accessibility.
Okay.
Host, put me in the game.
Oh, I am. Well, Walt, I promise you I was coming to you next. Wait. I need him to answer the second part. So, now tell me what DEIA does.
Diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility.
No, that's what it stands for. What does it do?
Diversity, it's a word that has many tenets under it. There's racial diversity, there's religious diversity, There's many types of diversity. And in my opinion, unless the diversity is in specific, as just like I just said, racial or religious, it doesn't mean anything. It means that somebody has the power to choose who they want to hire.
Okay,
If they
that's
want,
what I was
yeah,
trying to
unless
get you
it's in
along to.
specific,
Okay,
you got to hire a black guy.
all right, all
Wait, can I
right.
ask him a question? A very quick
Perfect.
question.
No. Everybody mute up. Everybody mute up. Everybody mute up. Including you, William. Yep, you too. I'm sorry. Whew. W's in the chat for J Mule, who sent a $4.99 super chat over on YouTube and said, Google title 18 US code, mishandling national defense information. Just go line by line. I'll pull it up. I will pull it up for sure. J Mule. W's in the chat for J Mule for sending that $4.99 super chat over on YouTube. Also, guys, W's in the chat for Jesse, who sent a $1 donation, said, tell your mom I said I'm happy to see she raised such a kind and smart son. Thank you so much for that $1 donation, Jesse. You are absolutely too kind. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. And also, like J Mule just did, you can send a super chat. Walt, I'm going to let you do all the heavy lifting on this one. I have nothing to add, my friend.
What's going on with you, Santana, man? First, let's get that out the way. I see you.
It is a
your
weird
blood
night.
vessels popping, bro. Man,
it's RC a funky night.
Man, you usually eat clowns like this for dinner.
I think he's got RC like in a windmill because like the guy's been like just not just wrong, but strong and wrong.
I had to bite my lip on the Obama thing, but you never
mind. Okay, Walt, can you clarify DEIA for us, please?
First, I would like to get clarification from William because obviously he don't know what the fuck he talking about. And I dealt with
language,
you in
friend. My wife, my mom is watching this.
Man, you know, I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm 42 years old. I'm set in my ways. I apologize. I would try to respect her.
Listen, wait. So you're 42 and William is 43, but William sounds like he's 63.
No, he's not. He said
that's what he said.
Yeah, he was.
It's got to be a hard 43. It's got to be a hard 43.
It's an all the way hard 43. It's like ridiculously hard 43.
Yeah,
ridiculously hard.
Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Plus 10, bro. William, who do you think is the number one demographic that benefits from DEIA?
White women.
And it's not black folks, by the way.
White women.
There you go. Because I thought I gave you this education in my live before.
There you go, trying to play games. You're not smart.
No,
man.
why did?
Go ahead and say what you gonna say.
Hold on. Go ahead and say what you gonna say. Hold on. Seriously, guys. Hey, hold on, William. I just said my mom watches this.
You don't get your BB.
William, seriously, stop. I'm muting you. Seriously, calm down, one at a time. No over talking, and please watch the language. Walt, go ahead.
Thank you, host. That wasn't a jab at you, William. I know you here playing games with these individuals. You should know better. We've had this discussion, and you played yourself in my live, and you're doing it again. You're 43 years old, so you claim, and we're sitting here giving you the facts, and we're having a very civil conversation, and you're using words that don't even match the context of your sentence, trying to sound smart.
You ain't said nothing
while looking like a
nothing but me.
Okay, hold on.
Yes, sir.
Seriously, 1 second, William. I'm being serious. Please stop coming off mute until it's your turn to speak. We have to keep some decorum on the panel. Seriously. Well, can you go ahead and just break it down for him? Can you explain what DEIA is, please?
All right. So those initiatives came into play, William, when employers wasn't hiring fair. Those initiatives was to benefit women, people of the LGBT community, veterans, and the BIPOC community. When those initiatives came in, including affirmative action, it benefit one demographic more so than any other demographic, and that was white teen women. DEI is being used now, weaponized by the right as another form of a slur, like the N-word. They use it in order to get people riled up, saying that they haven't received a job by merit, which that is not why DEI was implemented. Yes. It was for equity, William, that people who were qualified that were being shunned out can get an equal footing. That's what it's for. Now, what did I say, William? You do not understand.
Okay, William,
because I don't want to have to give you this lesson again.
Everybody who heard what you said is a little bit dumber. What makes you think I don't know what equity is?
Hold on a second,
Walt. Equity is something that you put in, and it's able
Jesus
to.
Christ.
Let me explain something to you.
Hold on a second, Walt.
What that equity stuff does is, by numbers, it makes jobs hire black people. That if they don't have enough black people who are qualified, they'll get some black people who are less qualified.
That's not true.
Yes, they will. Just to meet the quota.
That's not true. That's absolutely not true, William. So just to make sure that you understand this, DEIA is truly a merit-based system. It gives equal protections under the law that no matter what race, creed, orientation, sexual orientation, or religion, or whatever the case may be, whether you're able-bodied or not, that you are solely hired on the premise of your own merits, not based off of anything that you are or are not. It's not a quota.
Since I work in HR, I can, if you want me to, I can talk about it too.
All right. Let's do this real quick because I want to make sure that we introduce a new person as well. And Jay Bird, quick question for you. Are you excited about the direction the country is heading under this Trump administration? Jay Bird, I'm going to send you a request to come off mute.
I'm sorry, I did not try to do that. My bad.
Okay, no worries. I'm going to go ahead and drop you down. All right. So William ran, right? William, I don't know what happened. William, if you want to come back up again, I will give you an opportunity to actually speak. We just, again, got to speak one at a time. One at a time, friend. So let's do this. Gucci, before I go to Native, because you haven't had an opportunity to speak in a while, would you like to add anything overall to the conversation when it comes to DEIA?
I guess it's just the fact that they're even trying to remove all these protections that have been in place or put in place for minority groups that just gets me. And how Black people, some Black people, MAGA, can like just sit there and defend it. I struggle to understand that. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's easy to think that it's something that won't necessarily affect you, but when you talk about, multiple things that are happening that actually starts to build, I think we're seeing an instance where they're pushing on the edges of what should or shouldn't happen, and that's where we're going. But let's do this real quick. Izzy, I just saw your message, guys. W's in the chat from Izzy. Izzy sent a $2 donation saying, "Can you drop me down, please? It's almost t-shirt time for me, my guy." Izzy, thank you so much for coming up and spending time with us. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me up.
Absolutely, Izzy. Have a good one. And make sure Brett understands that, you're not new to this. You're true to this. And he didn't even make it, 5 minutes on the panel? So you know that you belong. Brett is a poser.
I'll let him know.
All right, I'll see you later, friend.
See you, man.
Also, let's read these off real quick, guys. W's in the chat for Christopher, who sent a $1 donation, saying, "W Mama Jones, thank you for raising an incredible man." Thank you so much, Christopher. And also, guys, W's in the chat for I think it's pronounced Eckard. I know I'm messing up your name. ECKARD, Eckard. who sent a $20 donation saying, "Thanks for all the good work, Santana. I really enjoy listen to you both in the evening shows and when you call into Dean and Parker show." Thank you so much for that $20 donation. You're absolutely amazing. And also, W's W's in the chat for J Mule, who sent a $1.99 donation over on YouTube for a super chat to say at Santana's mom, "Hey, now watch it, J Mule." Cause that was a few too many, that was stretched out a little too far. That was, it's just hey, or just hi. You don't have to say hey, Anyway, guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. Everything is accepted, anything's appreciated, and also YouTube super chats. Native, go ahead and break down. Go ahead and break down where we are and speak to DEIA for me, please.
Yeah, I'll try not to take too long, but I think a lot of people do have a misconception with DEIA, and they conflate it with like affirmative action. So DEI is specifically talking about the culture you experience while you're in the company. So to break it down, so you have your diversity efforts that speaks more to the recruitment strategy. So I work in recruiting alongside of our DEI department. So what we try to do is target areas that have historically been looked over, like HBCUs, and we try to go to groups like women in STEM or things that are geared toward marginalized communities. Now, when you get to equity, we're talking about, do you have enough resources within the company to get your job done? So one of the things we have are high functioning autistic people. And we have a whole conference room and everything where we have good sound barriers, because sound and a lot of noise can distract them. So we're giving them an equitable opportunity to get the job done. Then you have inclusion. That's where your affinity groups come in, like your Asian Pacific groups, your LGBT groups, everything in an effort to make sure you feel like you are part of the company, no matter where you're from. And your accessibility, just making sure that you have areas where if you're in a wheelchair, that's easily accessible into the building. If you need like a standing desk or anything like that, we try to accommodate you according to your medical needs. There is no quota you have to meet. There can be a recruitment goal as far as there's a recruitment. You can say, hey, during this hiring class, I want to make sure we reached out to this X, Y, and Z many different groups, or we attended this X, Y, and Z amount of Black national groups or different things that are geared toward marginalized communities. There is no quota. It's just a diversity strategy. That's it.
Yep. No, absolutely. Perfect. And one thing that I do want to call out, just because I want to make sure that we, whenever we're trying to make sure that we have these conversations and we're speaking to autism, it's not going to be high functioning, right? That's very dehumanizing, saying that, someone has a better case of autism than the other person. So it's just autism. I know something a term that used to be used, but it's not anymore, just for the simple fact of what we deal with now. So I just want to call that out. No, you're good, friend. You're good. Thank you for that. And thank you for that definition. Okay, so let's do this real quick because we have a few new people on the panel. And so I want to, hey, thank you for the dinosaur. That's awesome. I want to actually kind of level set for a second and see who we have on the panel. So I know, Reppin, we have you back, and I'm going to come to you next. But Tony, are you someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading under this Trump administration? Tony, I'm going to send you a request to come off mute. Tony, are you there? Tony going once. Tony going twice. All right, Tony, I'm going to drop you down. If you want to come back up, you can come back up. Is it Fletcher Girl or how do I say your username, friend?
Hi there, Fletch Girl.
Fletch Girl. Yeah. Fletch Girl, are you someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading under this Trump administration?
Not for the past 60 days, no.
Okay. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Never.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Hold tight for me just a second. All right. So I'm going to give you the floor, Reppin. I would like to actually hear your thoughts, right? Specifically on why you're excited about the direction that the country is heading. I mean, I know you voted for Trump, and you were really honest with your you were really honest about your actual feedback, and which I really appreciate that when it comes to the actual security breach, I would call it. But what makes you excited about the direction that the country is heading, and just overall?
Okay, well, today Ukraine and Russia both announced the ceasefire in the Black Sea. And I just, honestly, I like seeing things like that, like progress and negotiations and communication going on between those two countries, because I haven't seen nothing like that in the past 4 years ever. It just felt like it was like the forgotten war or something. And it's just seeing little things like that, like little, little inches towards progress, is as much as all the shit that Donald Trump does.
Language again, friend.
I feel like he does some good.
Okay. So you think, you know what, that is, I can definitely understand why you would say that, right? I absolutely understand why you say that. So I guess with that being said, because I saw that I haven't gotten a chance to actually read. Hey, thank you for the bear. I haven't gotten a chance to read up more so specifically about what the quote unquote ceasefire in the Black Sea entails. But you think that the things that he's done so far outweigh the negative impacts of multiple things that have happened?
Can you be more specific?
Yeah. Or you know what?
It's not the same opinion as mine, right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So, let's start with the fact that multiple people have lost their jobs, right? I mean, the economy has taken a dip because of Donald Trump threatening tariffs. There has been uh, countless constitutional violations, whether it's Donald Trump violating people 14th Amendment, or him trying to actually violate people's First Amendment, which is, the freedom of speech. Like it's multiple things. I mean, alienating our allies so much so that the Europeans, they don't know if they can actually count on us anymore, or even you know putting people in power and stripping away putting people in power that's going to strip away like social safety nets, including like Medicaid. Just all of those things that seem to actually add up to be a lot of negatives versus like the one kind of good thing that you spoke to.
So they haven't touched Medicaid. They haven't, until they do these things. They haven't touched Social Security.
You do understand that
They do.
they've
If they do,
passed
I'll
the,
disagree.
but you know that they've already passed the bill to actually they passed it through the House to cut
The
the
880
amount.
billion or million, right?
880 billion. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm
technically,
watching.
it's not all done. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Technically, it's not all done, but they've started the actual process and they've gotten it, pretty much 50% pass, right?
Right. So from the way that they explained it, and they could be lying, who knows? But the way that Mike Johnson explained it was that they want to kind of like, you have lots of people in their mid-20s, like, especially here in California, on Medi-Cal when they're completely able to go out and work. So what they're trying to do is make it to where it's like if you absolutely need it, then you absolutely need it. But if you're like able-bodied to go out and work, then you should be able to go out and work.
Okay, that's interesting.
If I may, host.
I was just about to say attacking. Would you like to attack that point?
Well, I think that was real above me to the right, to the left.
Oh wait, was it Walt? That was you?
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like I saw attacking's bubble lighting up, and so that's why I thought
can go if you want to, but I don't mind addressing repping to give him.
I'll go after you, sir.
All right. Repping, do you know the process it takes to get Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid?
I actually do. I've been on it.
Okay, so then you know you get vetted, right?
Yeah, you get screened and they check your income, and make sure.
Yeah. They make sure that if you're on it, you absolutely need it. They don't just give you benefits simply because you fill out an application and you're trying to cheat the system. So there's
No,
no one
actually,
that's young on the system abusing it.
so actually, I'm a family of 6, and
Yes.
well, the way that they kind of did it in the system when I was on it was they split my family up. So it was me and my 2 kids, and then my girl and her 2 kids. But basically, you can make a little over $3,000 and still qualify for Medi-Cal.
Medicare.
That's Medi-Cal,
Medi-Cal.
not Medi.
Well, we call it Medi-Cal out here in California. So
No,
I don't
there's
know where
2
y'all are
different
from.
ones in California: Medicare and Medi-Cal, state and federal.
Okay, well,
That's what I thought he was speaking to when he said that. At first, I kind of chalked it up as a misspeak, but then, okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Good catch, guys.
Am I confusing the two, or I don't know?
Yes, you are. You are. And the reason why I also wanted to mention that, Reppin, is because even though it doesn't say in the budget plan that they're literally trying to attack Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, which is food stamps, and Social Security, which is what every American who works and pay taxes pay into. It is owed to you. So they are attacking the committees that oversee those programs. So that's why they put it in there to try to fool the American public so they can say, hey, y'all getting on us and about the social programs, but it's not in the bill. And it absolutely is in the bill.
And
in the budget.
May I add that, number one, Social Security, they've closed 4 offices in Southern California
Yes,
alone.
ma'am.
That's automatically going to cause disruption in the system. Now they went from 28 hours applying for Social Security, SSI, and SSDI to 238 days. That's 2. 3, you should be making or getting money if it's just you and those kids with the rent in California, especially depending on what part you live in. 4, you do have to work. It's called a welfare to work requirement. You and your girl should have had it. You don't just get free things here in California. You have to actually provide proof that you are looking for a job, that you are working, and they will give you what's called a subsidy. And if you haven't looked at the bills, I would suggest not necessarily going around and, just kind of misinforming people. They are touching these programs, regardless if they put it in there or not. They are shutting down Medicaid, which
What
is
you
why they
just
should
said is
not get.
misinforming
Excuse me.
people.
I
They haven't
listened to you,
touched
Dirty.
Hold
anything.
on, hold on one second, Reverend.
I'm
Hold on one
almost
second.
done, and I will
let her
wrap up my
finish.
point.
But
They
she's
cannot
lying right
get
now.
into the
Okay, but hold on
systems.
one second, Reppin. I promise you, I'm going to let you respond. Let her finish her point, and then you can respond. Okay?
And can I go after that?
They couldn't get
Yes,
into the
but go ahead,
systems when
Doolittle.
Trump shut down USAID, when he started touching Medicaid, and it's still not back up yet. There's a lot of things that we're unaware that they have touched. I'll mute for now.
Perfect. Okay, Reppin.
Okay, so I was just on a panel, 2 days ago, and there's this lady, 80 years old, in a retirement home, and she basically told me that all you have to do is apply for it one time. There's no going back and forth to the Social Security office. So she's telling me that everybody there at her home was concerned, but nobody's Social Security was affected. Nothing has been touched. So for you to come up on this panel and say that he is touching these things and taking these things away from American people is false information.
All right, great, fantastic. Hold on, Ms. Doolittle, can I go? Do you mind?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. Reppin, right now there's a list of 47 Social Security offices that are going to be closed in the next year, and I have that list. The picture right next to you with the white guy, the billionaire, he makes a comment about if a Social Security payment doesn't come this month, he goes, my 95-year-old mother-in-law, she wouldn't complain about it. But then again, she's a billionaire. somebody who's not a billionaire would complain about it because it's their food, that's their lifeline. Now, I can put up a list, if you want to see a list of 47 Social Security Administration offices that are going to be closed in the next year. And
Okay,
a lot
I
of them,
just told
hold
you
on,
that.
it's my turn. It's my turn to
Hold on
talk, and then you
one
can go
second,
after
Reverend,
me.
please. Just a moment, friend.
I can show you a list of all 47 offices. Now, you have Elon Musk saying that entitlement programs need to be cut. You have this guy saying, so what if your payment's missing 1 month? Big deal, it might come the next. And you have thousands of Social Security workers being fired. While Donald Trump claims that, oh, I'm going to protect Social Security, that's just bluster. Because on the inner side of this administration, they're trying to remove Social Security. Now, I'm sure you heard that there were 17,131,039 people that Trump and Elon Musk have been saying are between the ages of 100 and 360 years old receiving Social Security payments. Well, they haven't put out any proof about that because that's false, due to the fact that Social Security started in 1935, and the very first year that a Social Security check went out was in 1940 for the sum of $22.54. That woman received it until she passed away in 1975 at 100 years old. Now, the thing is this. If they had proof that there were people 150, 200 years old that were receiving Social Security checks, they would put out a spreadsheet of all these fraudulent payments going out to people, and then they should have arrest warrants for people that supposedly cashing these checks. Now, my brother passed away 3 weeks ago. He was on Social Security, and when he passed away, Social Security was notified immediately by the funeral home, because they have to do that. And they took the money back out of his checking account. So that's what Social Security does. And you have to have follow-ups. If you're in disability, you have to go to a medical doctor every couple years so they can keep verifying that you are disabled to receive a Social Security payment. Now, I haven't heard you say this yet, but do you believe that there are 17,131,039 people committing fraud like Donald Trump and Elon Musk says in regards to Social Security payments? I'll end it there.
Repping, the floor is yours.
So, Santana, I'm just going to end it with you. Like you said,
Why, friend? You don't want to continue to engage in the conversation?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go down this rabbit hole with people. I've done it a million times on panels. It's pointless because nothing has been touched, and you and I both know this. So until it has, then we could debate about it. But Santana, I know you do your homework. I know you're a very intelligent, smart person. So we'll just leave it. I'll end with that.
Well, and this is the question that I wanted to throw out to you, because I get what you're saying, right? I get the premise. The premise of what you're saying is not wrong, right? And there is a possibility that like anything could happen, and somehow the Senate could actually not pass those bills, right? But we can at least admit that, yeah, you're technically right. It has not happened yet, but it's in the works.
Can I say something?
Hold on one second.
Yeah, I admitted that.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, at least we're there. Okay. One second, Walt, because I want to, again, I want to do this real quick because there's multiple people that hadn't got to speak, and then I also want to swap out one other person. Gucci, anything else from you that you would like to add? Anything that you want to dive into before I swap you out, friend?
Well, I'll drop for you, but the thing is this, Santana. Firings at Social Security Administration's offices have happened. That's a start. That is a start. Step.
And that's the point that I'm speaking to. Like the actual overall things, you know, have not happened, but there are things that are happening.
Yeah, and this here's Colorado. And these are areas that are being shut down. Sorry, you can find the list and I can send it to you if you really want it, Rappin. Thanks, host. I'm going to drop for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting me up.
And I know how this works personally because I'm on Social Security. So, Reppin, they also released a letter letting people who receive it, let them know that their payments may be delayed. And that hasn't happened in decades because of what they're doing at Doge. Now, why would they delay people's payments? Because it automatically comes out. Even in their own system, if what attacking didn't mention is that it automatically, and this is why educating yourself is so important. They automatically, if they make a mistake and didn't catch somebody unaliving and they was receiving payments within their system, once you reach 115 years of age, it automatically stops. So when they came out and said, hey, we're finding people getting paid at 150 years or whatever years, they lied right off the top because it hasn't been going that long. 2, it automatically shuts off at a certain age. So this is what I get frustrated about those who support Trump and what's going on right now, or the information that's being spewed, is because they say anything to you guys. Mike Johnson, Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, anybody in the Senate, Donald Trump, and y'all take it as gospel and don't look into it and see where there's holes and where there's misinformation and lies. Once you realize that and you start doing that, you will start holding these people accountable, and then you will make choices that will benefit you and your family. And I'll end my plane there.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. And Walter, if you don't mind, I'm going to swap you out, my friend. Okay.
Can I?
For sure, man. Thanks for having me up. Much love to you, brother.
Thank you.
For sure.
Gucci, yeah, the floor is yours, friend.
Okay, so like they've passed the budget, right? They've already made the plans. They've written the plans that they're going to cut it. They've passed the budget. They're going to cut it. Why is Reppin still denying that they're going to cut it?
Well, I think more so, and Reppin, you can tell me because I don't want to misrepresent your actual your stance. But the overall your point is like basically anything can happen until the T's are dotted and the I's are crossed. That there's still a possibility for anything to actually change. Is that your stance, Reppin?
We know, all right. We know the impact and the outcome that would have on so many families in America. And you know, I'm a person of faith. I think God's will always prevail. And I don't believe that that's going to be God's will. I just don't see it happening. I don't believe it happening.
Yeah, Russia invading Ukraine wasn't God's will either, but it happened, right? So just because you believe that it won't happen doesn't mean it's not going to happen. They've said that they're going to do it. They said they want to do it.
Why are we talking about Russia, or are we talking about
47 on TikTok thinks they won't? The only way they will change it is if the Democrats fight back. So you're depending on the Democrats that you voted against to help you.
So they're not no, they are not helping nobody.
So why would the Republicans then?
27%.
They planned it. They
approval ratings.
They want it. Why would they not do what they want?
They have no leader. Like they have no message.
The reason why we're not agreeing with the Democratic Party right now is because they voted for this budget that passed. We don't want that. Because
hold on one second, Gucci. 4 years. Hold on 1 second, Gucci. Reppin, I want to hear your thoughts. You said who doesn't?
Yeah, I was trying to literally give my wholehearted opinion about it, but obviously someone's feeling emotional about it.
Whoa. Hold on, friend. Like, first and foremost, like honestly, if people are feeling emotional about losing access to social safety nets, everyone has the right to do so. But 2, don't confuse passion with emotion. I mean, people get passionate about things that they care about. That doesn't mean that they're emotional. But with that being said, I mean, like Gucci, 1 second. Gucci is perfectly fine. Reppin', finish your thought, and then I'm going to give the floor back to Gucci.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Hey, thanks for having me up here.
Oh, okay.
Don't run.
Okay. All right.
Gucci, I'm very
Gucci,
passionate
the
about
floor
healthcare.
is yours.
That's
Yeah.
why. I've seen patients who are scared of like losing their healthcare. They depend on it. They can't go without insulin. They can't go without their heart medications. This was one of my biggest fears with like Trump taking office, because I remember his last time in office, and they want to do this. I've heard like MAGA say like, oh, well, I don't believe. He doesn't care about what you believe.
To add into what Gucci is saying, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
To add into what Gucci is saying, I just don't understand. Like, MAGA is playing an example of why why Schindler was able to do what he was able to do, because they just believe until it's done, it's not going to happen. I don't know if you guys know who Pat Fallon is. He's he is literally caught on video saying that millennials are just going to get a different deal, and if they want to retire, that they just need to get a second job, but they still believe somehow that this isn't going to happen.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right, and I think that's the point that we were getting to as well. Like, there's no. I'll say this, guys. There's no reason to say that you're not hopeful, or even if you're religious, that you don't actually think about you don't pray that things don't or do happen. And so I get that, but also understanding what's right in front of our face is really important, and also acknowledging those facts are really important as well. Gucci, any last words before I drop you down, my friend?
No, thank you for having me. This is my first time ever on a live, so this is
welcome. I'm so happy that you joined us. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me. I love your lives. Love your lives.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, guys, so we're going to do this. We have 2 boxes open. I know there's people requesting, but I want to actually make sure that we leave the boxes open for someone who has a bit of an opposite position. So if you're someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading, please go ahead and request up. We will actually make space. Why did Tech Memphis leave? Tech Memphis, why did you leave? Not you. If you are excited about the direction that the country is heading, if you support the Trump administration, go ahead and request up, and we will give you a spot on the panel. Also, guys, if we could, can we knock out the daily gift goal? It's the little high bears. Can we knock those out? Okay, yeah, knock out the daily gift goal, which are the high bears. Also, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 150,000 likes. Let's get the shares up as well to 250 shares. Also, guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. And if you are over on YouTube and you would like to support, you can do so through a super chat. With that being said, let's do this real quick. Fletch, I want to come to you, but let me just introduce Michael real quick, and then I'm going to give you the floor. So, Michael, I want to come to you real quick just for introduction. Are you someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading under this Trump administration? Michael 903, I'm going to send you a request to come off mute, my friend. Michael going once. Michael going twice. All right, Michael, I'm going to drop you down. A guy with 2 snowmobiles and 1 bike.
Yeah,
can I call you
cool.
Bike?
Just call me Jack.
Jack, how are you this evening, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Jack, are you someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading under this Trump administration?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay. All right. Hold tight for me just a moment. All right. Fletch, what would you like to add to the conversation?
Oh boy. Well, just in talking about Social Security, I do have a question for the panel. I certainly share many of the concerns expressed, but it does sound like there is some lack of funds that we will deal with eventually. I'm curious what everyone's thoughts are as to how the best remedy would be for that, and if we anticipate anyone on the Democratic side will introduce any bills proposing ways to increase that, whether that's raising the cap, or what other ideas you guys have as far as making Social Security more, long term, something that our kids and grandkids can rely upon.
I have ideas.
Who said that?
Me.
Wait, who's me?
Doolittle.
Okay, I was about to say I don't see it lighting up because you were speaking so soft. Okay, Doolittle.
One, as everyone is saying, tax the rich, have them pay their fair share. That will contribute to our GDP on average, if I'm not mistaken. With the amount of billionaires that Simi Valley has alone in that concentrated area, we could fund Social Security for over 20 years by taxing them for 2 of that. That's one. 2, I think putting some of the programs that we do have that are wasteful, such as Section 8, for instance. Section 8 will have someone living in an apartment for 30 years. That same person can purchase a house with the amount of money that they're paying for rent, especially in California, somewhere else in 5 years. So that's money that could be saved, or people that could be utilizing those programs in more effective ways. There's certain wasteful spending that we can reallocate towards other social programs to offset that. See, there's ways that we can do this without hurting anybody. But I think our politicians have become so out of touch because they're not living this life of having to struggle and scuffle for every little bit that they have, or they're getting mega donors or whatever the case may be. And we need to get money out of politics like that too. Make people more in touch with what's going on, and keep them humble by not allowing people to just be so greedy in this country. There's ways to find those programs that are wasteful, reallocate the money, of course, start utilizing the money better. And I mean, we had $6 million here that was spent on bull crap during the fires by Karen Bass. That money could go to Social Security or other programs.
Wait, so maybe I heard you wrong. Did you say get rid of Section 8 programs?
No, not get rid of Section 8 programs. Allow people to purchase their own homes on that program. There's no real rent-to-own programs. If you have someone living in an apartment for 30 years and you're paying $4,000 a month, tell me how that adds up. That's people can purchase houses, and the money that you save, having them purchase a house for what, $100,000 versus spending that for 30 years. $4,000 a month for 30 years is a lot. You can reallocate that money. Once they've purchased that home, all they have to do is pay their taxes twice a year. So the money that you're saving by doing that, by making people homeowners, allowing people to purchase their apartments and things like that, like they do in other states, you save money, which can be reallocated.
Okay. Would anyone else like to share their thoughts on that?
I was going to also say, taxing the rich. I feel like that's a given, but I feel like if we allow, immigration to actually take its process, that would also help with it.
Okay. All right. That's a fair statement. I think there's, I mean, like for me, yeah, yes, tax the rich, also tax corporations, and also, I mean, like there's multiple facets of wasteful spending. I mean, there's multiple ways that we can actually allocate and reassure funds to ensure that those not only Social Security is taken care of, and it allows people to continue to actually take advantage of it because they're paying into it. Ooh, B, I like that one. B just put it in the chat. Tax churches, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Tax the churches. I have not seen anyone say that one yet, but absolutely. Okay. 1 second. Black Acre, are you someone that's excited about the direction that the country is heading under the Trump administration? Black Acre, are you there? Black Acre going once. Black Acre going twice. Gonna drop you down. Jacob, how are you, friend?
I'm great. How about you?
Jacob, I know I owe you a Lakers in 5. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna
No,
have it
no,
for
no.
you by tomorrow.
You're all good, man.
I
Don't
know.
worry.
Listen, I'm gonna have it by tomorrow. I got it. Jacob, what would you like to add to the conversation?
I just wanted to talk about the first part a little bit. The war plans are public.
Yeah.
I mean, so my stance on it is when JD Vance is like literally coming out and he's saying, well, I don't support Trump or like whatever it was. I just don't understand how people can still be supporting this when the vice president of the United States doesn't agree with Trump. His literally right hand man. I mean, it's so like BS that like I'm just done. I just want a new president already, and it hasn't even been 2 months. So
Yeah, well, listen, okay, so I'm gonna push back on you for a second, Jacob. I'm gonna push back on you. And the reason why I say I'm gonna push back on you is because I'm gonna push back on you. And if you see the last one, it says who's in charge, right, on the screen. The reason why I say that is because of what you were just saying, right? Hey Shay. But like the fact that thank you for the bear echo. The fact that JD Vance seems to be taking an opposite stance and speaking to the fact like when you talk about that communication that came out and we know for a fact that like they were talking about the indecisiveness, right? And the fact that it's going against the public stance of Donald Trump as far as the message he's trying to convey to Europe, and then also, you know, when Donald Trump talking about he didn't sign the Aliens Enemies Act, but I think it's more so not that JD Vance isn't really supporting him. I think that they don't have a consistent message. I think that it's a lot of people. They have power, but they don't have actual direction except hate. So, like Jacob, what do you think? What do you think about that thought? Because I don't necessarily think that he doesn't support him. I think that they're just doing a bunch of everything, and they don't have like true direction.
yeah, I mean, I think they're in a really bad scramble. I mean, the public has not liked them both at all. So I just think they're in a scramble to figure stuff out. And will they ever figure it out? Probably not. So, I mean, they just got to pull it in a direction where, you know, we can have a sustainable country and not so much. I mean, dude, I just feel like it's all drama. I mean, everything that's coming out, everything, it's just straight drama. And it's so like, why can't we just get this together? Why can't we be adults? Why can't we lead this country in a new direction how we so desperately need?
Yeah, I think that's a really good. Hold on a second. You guys hear that?
You breathing loud as
Hold on.
hell.
Shh. Yeah, I was gonna do it. You didn't have to do it. I wanted to ask Nana, like, Nana, was Nana still there? Nana fell asleep. Okay. Yeah, Jacob, I agree with you. No, I'm not. I am not mean. Yeah. Yeah. So Jacob, I agree with you. I do think that there was, I think that, I think there's a lot to it. And I think that even more than anything that there is, I think there's opportunity, right? I saw someone drop in the chat that's saying that, oh, Project 2025 is the plan, which I do understand that Project 2025 is the plan, but man, they just seem so inept, right? Like even when they actually have all the power and the control, they still can't actually make things go in the direction that they're trying to get it to go in. Like I think that's a problem. So yeah, let's do this. I know we have Omega and Corey on the panel. Omega, Corey, how are we?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
Good.
I just wanted to come up and say something. It's not only just taxing the rich their fair share. It's even if we didn't do that, if the top 1% paid what they owe in back just back pay of the stuff that they owe this country in debt, then we would have enough to feed all the poor and the homeless.
Yeah.
So, it's not even just about taxing them. It's about them paying what they owe.
Yeah, I definitely think that like there's a lot to be said about that, right? I mean, it's funny. I heard a guy talking, and he was like, "Oh, if you dropped the actual tax rate for the wealthy, then they wouldn't fight so hard to actually find loopholes and subvert ways of paying taxes." And I was like, you have to be out of your mind. If you drop the tax rate for the wealthy, they're just going to try to figure out a way to pay even lower taxes than what they already have to pay, or pay no taxes. Like
Right?
it's all about them saving as much money as they can and trying to, get past those, get through the loopholes and not actually have to pay their fair share. So you're absolutely right.
Exactly, bro. Do you remember when Bush was trying to propose that flat tax and all the 1% were trying to be like, yeah, just everybody pay a flat tax? I mean, like, yeah, it sounds good in theory, but the only people that will be coming out in on the bad end will be us. They would be making bank by paying a flat tax. So it's like, yeah, I
Yep,
mean,
absolutely. Absolutely. Corey, what would you like to add?
I think we just have to eat them.
yeah.
Eat them.
Not eat them.
I mean,
I think it's time to get a little French. I don't know.
I mean, c'est la vie.
Let them have their Teslas,
Yeah.
and then we just eat them.
I think we need another election.
Maybe.
Oh.
Hunter, is it Hunter?
Yeah.
Okay. Hunter, are you excited about the direction that the country is heading under the Trump administration?
Not even a little bit.
Okay. Hold tight for me 1 second. Corey, anything else that you want to add to that point?
Yeah, these likes are moving super slow. I've noticed we have a lot of people in here, and they're just moving really, really slow, and it's frustrating
Yeah,
me.
real important topic right there.
Hunter, 1 second here.
Go
ahead, Corey.
Yeah, so those likes are moving super slow. We are 10 little high bears away from hitting that goal. And is it that week?
No.
No. Okay. That's why I was like, maybe I should ask. But also donate to Santana at Santana Speaks 24 on all of the pay apps. But seriously though, those likes are really stressing me out. If you could just tap that screen.
Tap the screen. Let's go and get the likes up. Matter of fact, let's do this because I'm feeling feisty. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you guys, yes, and this is gonna sound weird. I'm gonna give you 8 minutes. 8 minutes. 8 minutes to get up to 200,000 likes. 8 minutes to get to 200,000 likes, so we're going to sub on. 8 minutes, 200,000 likes, or we're going to sub only. Tap the screen, share the live, do all the wonderful things. Let's get it moving. 8 minutes to get up to 200,000 likes. Boom. Okay, Hunter. I want to give you the floor for a second, and then I want to come to Haley, and I'm going to pass it around the actual panel. Hunter, I know we've been talking about, like, taxation of the rich and all this other stuff, but I know that we have multiple topics that we really can focus in on, and so I would love to know, which one would you like to actually speak on? Would you like to speak on the war plans that went public? Would you like to speak on the injunctions that the Trump administration keeps running into, the fact that segregation apparently is back in federal buildings, or the fact that there seems to be a lack of direction as far as leadership within this administration? Which point would you like to talk on or talk to? Or you can just leave. I mean, there's that. After saying that was a really important thing. Yeah. There we go. All right. So, Haley, the floor is yours. Which topic would you like to speak to?
Well, one, I just wanted to point out the fact that it's so hard to get a debate out of MAGA now is very telling. They very much so know that you cannot defend Trump at this point. And two, the guy, he left already, but he spoke on the Black Sea Agreement. From what I've seen, Russia is only saying it will take place if they lift sanctions. So, yeah, I don't really know what else the panel wanted to talk about, because it's not any MAGA to any, but yeah, that's just what I want to speak on. And it's from what I've also seen, it's limited to.
Okay. Well, no worries. In any other overall thoughts that you would like to share before I drop you down?
Just honestly, I'm just tired of it. I'm 21, young, so I've been dealing with this man since literally like 7th grade, and it's just mind-boggling that this man still has supporters. It is a literal cult, and I guess I just felt like America would have more protections between our country and a cult. Like, we shouldn't be ran by a literal cult. So that's just very disgusting to me that this is even happening in the first place. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, right? And I think, and I say this all the time, right? Like, the fact that I don't get how anyone could actually love their politicians, right? I think you should like your politicians, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that you should fall in love with your politicians. And I don't think that there should ever be a situation where you feel like that you can't hold your politicians accountable. And we see that quite often from the right, where Trump supporters are unwilling to actually hold Donald Trump accountable. I mean, you see that in this instance where there was a guy up here earlier, and he couldn't separate the actions that were committed when we were talking about the actual war plans being leaked, because he still connected it so tightly to Donald Trump. And I kept saying, like, hey, take Trump out of this and focus on the people that were involved. But he couldn't do so because of his actual love and loyalty and allegiance to Donald Trump. So I would just say this, Haley, like, before you go, your perspective, right? Do you think that anyone else coming on the right has that same sense of cult of personality, right? Let's say we're able to get past Donald Trump. Do you think that anyone else on the right can actually captivate MAGA and command that type of unwavering loyalty that Donald Trump has?
Honestly, yes, but
really,
only if they have had any like connection with Trump in the first place. You know what I mean? Like,
so wait, so you think JD Vance can hold MAGA like Trump does?
Mm, it depends. I don't know. Like, would they agree with him? Yes, but I feel like it wouldn't be such a strong hold. Trump just has a very good way to just lie to people. I don't know how to explain it. It's just so crazy to me. Like, if he really wanted to be successful, he could do a book on how to grift. Seriously, because I
Well, I
don't
mean,
get
he's
it how
done
he can
books on it.
brainwash
Yeah.
people the way he does.
I disagree with you. I
Yeah.
completely disagree with you.
So,
I don't think that anyone else can do it except Jimmy
Down.
Doolittle. Were you
Um,
okay? Like I disagree with you. I don't think that anyone could, especially not JD Vance. He doesn't have the charisma. He doesn't have. He's a chameleon, right? And that's why I genuinely don't think that he could actually do it. Yeah, Kiko in the chat actually said it. That's the one person that I think that could actually do it, and he can't even run for president. Elon.
Yeah.
Because Elon had that same type of weird loyalty, that cult of personality. It's strange how they attribute like intelligence to Elon just because he's super wealthy. It's a whole thing. Chat, just an FYI, we got a minute and 36 seconds to get up to 200,000 likes, or we are going to okay, I guess we're gonna give you a little bit of overtime. Give you a little bit of overtime. Keep tapping the screen. Let's get up to 200,000 likes.
MAGA is in love with MAGA. It's the camaraderie. It's the merchandise. It's the people. Over. I think it's more of an ideology than just one person.
No.
yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Like, I feel like in a way, I have no hope in the right in general. Like, as long as you're racist enough, as long as you're bigoted enough, you can kind of,
I have to agree with the
get your way
Santana.
with them.
They're invested in the man. They're invested in the orange deity. And I agree again with the only person that could pull that kind of cult like status is Elon. JD Vance numbers I just saw today that his poll numbers are at an all time low of any person in vice president history. So I mean, they're invested in the man and the ideals of MAGA, but they're invested. It's all leads back to Trump. And when he leaves, if he would have lost, all that MAGA energy would have. If he would have lost against Kamala, all that MAGA energy would have went with him. And when he leaves this presidency, all that energy is gonna go with him. They're invested in the man and the ideal of this man.
You know what? Hold on. So I want to flip this on its head. And guys, I'm going to give you an extra 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes. 3 minutes to get up to 200,000 likes, or we are turning the likes. I'm turning the comments to sub only. So you got 3 minutes to get up to 200,000 likes, or we're going to sub only. I want to throw this to the whole panel, and I want to hear from people that I haven't heard from yet. So I would love to start with Rock and Roll Mama, and then head to Fletch, and then Corey, Jacob, and then back to Doolittle, Omega, and Haley. So but we're gonna start with Rock and Roll Mama. Do you guys think, right? So you talked about how Omega said, if Trump would have lost to Kamala, then all the MAGA energy would have went with them, right? And I agree. But it also makes me think about this current Democratic Party, right? And I think that if we can't hold our own accountable, then what are we doing? And with that being said, we understand that there's a subsection of the Democratic Party that has held on to power. We have the Nancy Pelosi's, we have the Chuck Schumers, we have even Hakeem Jeffries, who have held on to power and they don't want to do things to change. But then you have certain people like AOC that are trying to fight for change. You have people like Bernie Sanders, who has always been on the actual other end of the spectrum. So I guess the question would be, and I want to start with Rock and Roll Mom. Do you think that there's a need for a quote unquote Tea Party for the Democrats? An actual subsection of Democrats that say, hey, screw you lifelong Democrats. You guys aren't really here for the people. We need to actually do something different, and we need to lean more into it. What are your thoughts?
I do think that they need to bring in the next generation, like you say, the AOCs and the, you
Jasmine
know,
Crockett.
yeah. I mean, just I wanted to say Crockett, but I couldn't remember her first name. Yeah, I mean, there definitely has to be a way to increase, I think, that coalition, and I think the older generation. I mean, like Nancy Pelosi pulling out Biden. I don't think if he had stayed, it wouldn't have been a different. What do I want to say? I don't know if he necessarily would have lost. I don't, I just think that the fear was that, he would type of thing. So they put someone younger in, and that was just a bad mistake.
Love and happiness.
Oh, sorry.
Tell me I was wrong. That was the song, right?
I definitely
That
think
was
so,
the
yeah.
song.
Wait, who was that? I thought that was Rock and Roll Mom. I thought that was you.
No.
Oh, okay. Everybody else mute up if you're not. Here, I'm gonna do that. Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought
Okay,
you
go
played
ahead.
this music.
No, I thought that was your phone ringing, but that was Love and Happiness. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the one thing that that is both a positive and a negative with the Dems is they want to do the right thing and they want to follow the rules. And those rules cannot do with they don't deal well with chaos. And I'm not saying that they're in the wrong. I mean, I think that we want our representatives, not that we haven't had bad Democrats or whatever, but I think the issue is that our system is just not prepared for complete chaos. And what Trump has done is he's like thrown out all the rules, and the opposition doesn't know how to fight that. And I don't know that yes, I think they could be more aggressive in things or whatever, but I think that's just the problem. I think everybody's just shell shocked that that this happened. And I think that when Trump goes, MAGA goes, and I would actually be very interested in how Republicans would come back from this, because Trump is a cult of personality, and he gave them the permission to be assholes. Oh, if you can say that on TikTok.
Not while my mom is watching. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying that I think that's the difference here, and our system isn't used to it.
I
think
agree.
when he goes, they go.
Yeah, I agree. But so this is the thing. At this point, for the rest of the night, I don't even want to focus on MAGA, right? I don't want to focus on MAGA. I don't want to focus on Trump. I'm calling an audible. I'm flipping this on his head. I want to focus on the Democrats. I want to talk about the Democrats. Fletch, let me come to you for a second. Fletch, I know there was a lot of conversation around this, especially when Chuck Schumer got behind the actual spending bill, right? The CR. And they talked about AOC primarying Chuck Schumer. Would you like to see AOC primary Chuck Schumer? Like, do you think that's something that needs to happen? What are your thoughts on all of that in the lifelong Democrats?
Yeah, 100%. I would love to see that. I think the new generation needs to be in the spotlight right now. I think that what is happening right now with Bernie and AOC, and I think in general, just those who are going out and meeting with their constituents, where the Republicans are not having town halls because they're afraid of what they're going to be facing, it's the perfect time for Democrats to go out and to really listen to what the people are saying and what they want and what is important to them. And I think those people who do that will rise up. So I do think it's important. I think if there's a time for a tea party in the Democratic wing, is now. I definitely think we need to see change, and we need to see some of those people who've just been lifelong politicians step aside and let in a new generation, because the younger people coming up and who are voting now and those who will be voting in the future. I mean, I have a son who's 19 and I can't talk to him about politics at all. He hates all of it. He thinks they're all terrible. He doesn't think anybody cares about him. He thinks it's all, they're all so self-centered, and I can't tell him he's wrong.
Okay.
But I hate to see that to where they want to just disengage, and it might just be him, but I do feel like there is some disconnect with the younger up and coming generations who are just tired of it. I am tired of it. And I haven't even been in politics that long. I feel like I got in the last 8 years because I was like, not liking what I was seeing. So yeah, I do think now is the time. I do think that really going out and having Democrats listen to their constituents and really hear what they're saying and what's important to them. And that's the angle that we need to take.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think there's a need to actually break away and do more. Corey, coming to you. Corey, what do you think? Is there a need for a Tea Party, a primary of Chuck Schumer? Do we need to have somebody pull Nancy Pelosi out of her race? Like, what are we doing with this party?
Yeah, F those guys. I'm sick of them. Can you hear me?
Yep.
My thing's not blue. Okay. Yeah, no. F those guys. The Democratic Party plays so much to the middle, and it really comes down to that whole idea of the two-party system being like a crapshoot, because it is. Because you have the Republicans that are like, I'm uncomfortable with all of the things that MAGA is doing right now, and then there's the Democrats that are like, yeah, but like the norms, and we have to follow the rules, and we can't be like, and it's so exhausting because like, screw all of you guys. We want universal health care. We want our kids to have a future that's good and positive and fruitful, and we want to tax the rich. We have to stop voting in middle ground Democrats, because they do nothing for us. They maintain status quo. And what is the point of that? What good have they actually done us? And absolutely, that's what we need. We need an anti-Trump.
Omega, who would be the anti-Trump?
Well, I mean, at this point, I don't know, because the country has shown that they're not ready to vote a woman in, let alone a black woman. So, it would have to be somebody with that has the energy and the freshness of AOC, Jasmine Crockett, with the intelligence and the pedigree and the resume of Kamala Harris. It's going to have to be somebody that it has the grassroots and the everyman kind of energy of Tim Walz and Bernie Sanders. It's going to have to be a combination of all those things. They're going to have the charisma of Obama. That's the kind of energy this party needs. Somebody like that's really progressive and really just grassroots and everyman and the everyman and the every woman kind of person, and that goes and talks to their neighbors and actually gives a damn. It's not they're trying to lobby with special interest groups and all that kind of stuff. It's going to take that kind of energy.
I like with was it Kaylee Berg 7? John Ossoff. I would actually get behind a John Ossoff.
Yeah,
actually, I would.
After President Obama's term, I was thinking, I don't know why I never had Joaquin Castro. I liked his energy. I liked some of the stuff that he was about, and then Joe Biden stepped up. But hey, but I mean, I think it's that young, energetic energy that needs to be injected. I mean, only time would tell, but we will see. But I think it's gonna have to be somebody with that amalgamation of, a resume, every the journeyman, that every man said, person. It's
Ooh,
gonna have to be a combination of all of it.
someone over on YouTube just said, Beto O'Rourke. You know what? Texas
I love that.
absolutely fumbled Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah,
Absolutely fumbled
met
him.
him. I met him. He is. I mean, he is everything that he portrays to be. He is the real deal.
Yeah.
And I can't believe us in Texas have gotten it wrong so many times.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Doolittle. Would you like to see a shift in the party as a whole? Right. Either a one-off break off of the actual party, where they drive and they really get back to like the business of the people, like, or would you like to see all of these established Democrats get primary? Like, what are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I would like to see them get primary. I told Chuck Schumer today, he's talking about, oh, they're changing this and the Trump. Shut up. You're not going to do anything about it, Chuck. You're gonna concede and you're gonna fold at the slightest little bit of pressure that you think is gonna come your way, and that's where everybody's tired. Stop right in the middle. Get out there and actually fight. Put boots on the ground. It's good to talk, but I don't want to. I don't want to hear you. I want to see what you're doing. I don't care about the Gulf of America, the Gulf of Mexico name. I care about how groceries are, not just groceries, but eggs apparently is the big thing. I care about my son's college scholarships being messed up, or the fact that I have to pay for his loan now with the SBA and I did not sign up to be a business. I care about stuff like that. And he's 21. I ran for office. I have these conversations with these kids. He just turned 21 in Discord while we're playing Call of Duty. They're talking about this. And I believe it was Fletch that said the same thing that my son has said and his friends have said. They don't really feel like anybody has their back. They feel like leaving the country because they don't see a future for America. We're not only on Discord, I'm talking to the elderly people who are afraid. The unhoused are afraid. Everybody's afraid right now. And the Democrats have rode the middle for way too long. Stop pussyfooting around, pardon my French, and go ahead and get out there and fight for something. Because I don't see it. I don't see a fight. I see, oh, well, we have to remain demure. No, fight. Physically, if necessary, turn C-SPAN into pay-per-view. I don't care what you have to do, but fight.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Absolutely. And I think the lack of fight is the overall problem. And we're seeing that across the board where they're so worried about, the upholding norms, or, just having, like you said, that decorum. It's a whole thing. It's absolutely a whole thing. Let's do this, guys. I was just told 10 minutes. 10 minutes. You guys got 10 minutes to get to 250,000 likes. Tap the screen, share the live out. Also, we have the daily gift goal, which is the little deer. Also a reminder, guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. Also, over on YouTube, if you would like for me to read out a message or you would like to support, you can always send a super chat. With that being said, guys, W's in the chat for Jacob. Jacob sent a $1 donation saying no more Lakers in 5. I'm not even gonna read the rest of that. I don't even care, Jacob, to read the rest of that. But Jacob, what I would like to say is Boston Celtics, Boston Tea Party, Boston Cream Pie, Boston Marathon, Lakers in 5. Jacob, what do you have? Would you like to see the actual Democrat Party make a huge shift and Like, what are some of the biggest changes that you would actually like to see out of the Democratic Party?
So, kind of going back. Wait, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just think there needs to be more of a presence where we can get to younger voters, because I feel like a lot of the younger society is getting very much brainwashed by the whole Republican Party right now. So I feel like the one main thing is the people that are 18 to 25, we need to get out to them more. We need to set a clear message to the younger people. And I just feel like we need someone that is going to actually lead us there. We need a presence. We need someone that is going to care about the problems in our world that need to be addressed, like healthcare reform and income inequality. Like, we need to address these things before it gets out of hand.
Yeah, I think that's true, right? And I think the only way that we get there, Jacob, is by like younger leadership. But then I guess wait, so Jacob, you said you're how old again?
21.
21. Why is it so hard to get young people to vote?
I just think they just don't care about politics anymore.
Yeah, can I chime in on this real quick?
Oh yeah, 1 second, Haley. Go ahead and finish, Jacob.
I feel like, one, they're not informed at all, and two, I feel like they're very much brainwashed. And it's hard to see, but yeah, someone said Charlie Kirk in the chat. You have these Republican influencers getting to the young so fast, and I don't know. I feel like they're not informed about it at all, or they're getting brainwashed by these influencers like Joe Rogan and Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think there's a lot to be said to that. All right, Jacob, anything else before I drop you down, my friend?
Yeah, it's Bulls and 7, and
you better listen. Don't make me kick you off the panel before. Well, we've had a nice, cordial conversation up here. It's been listen, we've been singing and looking in each other's eyes and all this other stuff, and you gonna come up here and insult me with that?
Yeah, but our rookie dropped what was it, like 37 on you guys? So
yeah. We're still gonna win the title. So anyway, thank you for coming to Jacob. I appreciate you, my brother.
All right, yeah. Have a great one, man.
Have a good one. Haley, you said you wanted to speak on the why young people don't vote.
Yeah, so during the election, actually, I had to convince so many people to even vote in the first place, and it's 100%. It's not even just that they're brainwashed. A lot of that's more of like the conservative side of it. They're mainly brainwashed. However, Democrats they see that no one cares. Basically, like, there's no fight. No, someone who was impeached shouldn't even be able to run as president again in the first place. So during the election, people were just like, I don't really care because no one really cares about us in the first place. So that is definitely the issue that we're facing right now. Like no one wants to actually stand up and say what actually needs to be done. And it's going to cause a lot of people to literally leave America. That's what's going to happen. People are going to leave America. People don't want to be here anymore. There's no, like someone said, there's no future to America. We see that we've been working all these years and we want to be able to retire. Nobody wants that. People are going to leave.
Yeah, I do think that there's a lot to be said about that. And so let me ask you this, because people brought it up, right? And the right definitely does have like Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro and Joe Rogan and all these. Do you think that the left is missing the mark and not filling that space where they're speaking directly to the young people? Like, again, I don't like Charlie Kirk. I don't. But what he's doing as far as going out to college campuses and, debating kids on college campuses or letting them answer questions or whatever, like that's a thing, and that's trying to speak directly to them. I mean, like, what are your thoughts on that? And do you think that's something that the left is missing the target on?
Absolutely. It's so the target isn't even seen. Like it's so far they missed it a while ago. Yeah, we definitely need more of a social media presence. Most people who I know, they get information off of social media in the first place. Like I post a lot on my Instagram story, and I have a lot of people who slide up and say, "Oh, I didn't know about this such and such." So we definitely do need more of a social media presence. As a whole, though, I definitely think that to get out of this situation is going to take someone younger, someone much, much, much more progressive, and someone who's just willing to just say, I'm sick of this ish. Basically, it's gonna, like you said, the Tea
Somebody
Party.
like AOC.
It's not even necessarily if that's going to happen. Honestly, yes, but I don't know if anyone is if people will vote for a woman.
Haley,
That's
did
another
you
thing.
did you hear when AOC called Trump a rapist?
No, I must have missed. No, I missed that.
AOC said it with her whole chest.
Bernie?
No, AOC. This was like before the State of the Union, and they were saying, they were talking to. They was like, or she was on Instagram Live, and there was like, she was like, yeah, everyone keeps saying, are you going to the State of the Union? She was like, why would I go listen to this rapist speak with her whole chest? Yeah. Like that type of bold initiative, like that type of straightforward speech.
That's another thing that should have happened. They shouldn't have even showed up there in the first place. Why are y'all there holding up signs and wearing pink t-shirts? No, you should have went live and counter. I can't even think of the word. Like protested what the actual counter programming what was happening. Like we need to see more of that in the first place. Like I don't even understand why they decided to show up there and hold up signs and then proceed to not do anything after. You did nothing.
Yep. No, I
and
completely
then they voted
agree.
to censor Al Green after.
Yep. Nope. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Haley, hey, thank you for coming up and hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having me up.
Thank you. Guys, we got 50 seconds to get up to 250,000 likes. I think we're going to end up going to sub only. We need 30,000 likes in 40 seconds. I don't know if you guys can do it. Tap the screen, tap. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 250,000 likes. Let's get the shares up as well. Also, guys, W's in the chat. Let me get these off before the chat goes off. W's in the chat for Gucci. Gucci sent a $20 donation to say, I enjoyed the information, education, and entertainment. Gucci, you are absolutely far too kind. Thank you so much. W's in the chat for Gucci for that donation, guys. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. Also, over on YouTube, I know there's a lot of people watching over on YouTube. One, make sure you're liking the stream. Two, if you would like to support, you can always send a super chat, and I will also read out whatever message you attach to the super chat. And three, we do have memberships over on super chat. So right now, what we're doing on TikTok is we are going to sub only live, right? Until they tap the screen. And so only subscribers will be able to continue to chat. But we have memberships over on YouTube where if you want to become a subscriber or a member, you can do so over on YouTube. You get access to our Discord. You get access to a bunch of really cool emotes. You get priority messaging, all these wonderful things. So if you are not a member over on YouTube and you would like to actually become a member, please go ahead and do so. With that being said, let's keep it going, guys. Keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get up to 250,000 likes. If you are in the chat here and you want to actually continue to join the conversation, tap the screen or go ahead and subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, again, you get access to Discord, Fast Pass to the panel for late nights, all of those wonderful things. Sweet Pickles, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Santana?
Wonderful. Hey, that was in the chat for Caleb, who sent a $1.99 super chat over on YouTube, says sending some love. Thank you so much for that $1.99 super chat. For the people that can still chat, put some W's in the chat for Caleb. Sweet Pickles, question for you.
Sure.
So, AOC called Trump a rapist with her whole chest. AOC has stood on business, right? Jasmine Crockett didn't back down after Pam Bondi told her to tread lightly when talking about Tesla. What are your thoughts? Do you think that the old guard is out of touch and we need to get them up out of the paint and replace them with these new, more progressive people in the Democratic Party? Or are you someone that thinks that, no, we need to be more, central and try to appeal to the right? Like, where do you stand? Do you think that we need to actually lean into the young progressives, or actually try to reach across the aisle and get some of those fringe Republicans?
I like Jasmine Crockett a lot. I like her spunk and her energy. The same with AOC. I do think that a lot of the problem with getting the younger generation involved, or coming over maybe to the Democrat side, I kind of have an inside perspective because I live in a split household. I know that sounds a little crazy and nuts, and my house has been nuts for the last 4 years. I have a husband and a son who voted for Mr. Wonderful this time.
Your husband and your son voted for Jimothy?
They did vote for DJT, yeah.
Holy
I hate to say that,
smokes.
but they did. And when I try to talk to them about it and I ask them about it, they definitely regret their vote because of what's going on.
Sweet Pickles, where's your husband and your son at right now?
They're sleeping, actually.
Oh, next time bring them here. I want to talk to one of them.
I don't think either one of them would.
Really?
They're pretty, yeah. They don't like to talk about voting, neither one of them. I am very compassionate about it, and I try to explain to both of them that they are not voting for their interest. But I think a lot of problem with young men, and I'm going to say this because it really is a big problem, is a lot of the reasons why they vote Republican is because of their gun rights. I hate to say that. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, their pew-pew rights. And that is a big thing. I am in a very red state. We hunt. My husband's grown up that way his whole life. My husband is not conservative in the sense of being conservative, like on religion and things like that. He does, however, believe very strongly in his gun rights, and the same with my son. With my son because of that reason. So
okay,
I also have talked to
hold on. So take a whole step back, right? Okay. And chat, just the FYI, get it up to 250,000 likes if you want to actually be able to join the conversation, or you can go ahead and grab a subscription. Because we are on sub only chat, so get it up to 250,000 likes or grab a subscription. Sweet Pickles, when you position this to your husband and your son, like, hey, you are actively voting against my best interests, did they never say, like, hey, I get it, I would do this for you? Like, what was their justification? I mean, I know you just said pew-pews, but like, was there never a situation where they stood back and said, my mom, my wife, the other women in our lives, like, there was none of that consideration?
Yeah, I think so here's the thing. When Biden was elected the last time, I know both of them voted for him at that time. This time around, and prior to that, they have always voted. My husband's always voted Republican. He's a Republican. He doesn't like to talk about it.
Are you from South Carolina?
No, I'm actually from Wyoming, so our votes don't count for much. So that's also another problem my son tells me all the time. He tells me it doesn't matter anyways, Mom, because my vote counts for nothing. And he thinks there's no one out there to vote for. That's what he says. There's no one to vote for. There, look at what's there to vote for. So I think that is a huge problem. So I think that we could get a lot of young men on board on the Democratic side if there was a man, and I hate to say it that way, they're not used to well, I now on my son, I think my son could vote for a woman, honestly, but it would have to be somebody that, because I know neither one of them like Trump. I mean, but it's very frustrating because they just don't like the stuff that's going on, which blows my mind as to why they voted that way. And I don't quite understand that, but I think a lot of it is for young boys, there's nobody there that they think can represent them. Does that make sense?
It's a lot that's making sense right now, Sweet Pickles. It's a ton. It's a ton. I mean, I got some tea. Before I spill it, Kay.
Just here as a participant.
I know. That's why I said Kay.
Oh. Well,
because I know you're gonna say what I'm thinking, so I'm gonna let you have it.
No, I don't think I really am. I mean, I'm gonna make one point, and that is that young boys don't vote. 18-year-old men vote. And if they're so worried about their pew rights, and that's why they're voting, maybe that pew culture in this country needs to change. There are plenty of countries that have many laws that protect pew rights in regards to hunting and the like, and I think it's an absolute cop-out for that to be the reason. But furthermore, my position on this Democratic Party thing is that I think that, and this is just my personal view, there's no Democrat right now that I would be fully invested in, because I don't think any one of them are genuinely progressive enough for me. But I think that the problem with Democrats in general are that they're center right. So I think a whole party needs to be established in order to really talk about and move forward with the things that a lot of people want. Now, if there was another party, would the, absolutely wonderful Jasmine Crockett and AOC, move to that party? I think that definitely would happen. I think that they unfortunately have to be lumped in this two-party system. So, I mean, we see it in many different countries where there are several parties, and it just works way better than what we've been doing here, because all we do is have criminal politicians. I'm sorry, career and criminal, but
combination.
Exactly. So how do
hold on one second, guys. We're at 246,000 likes. Keep tapping the screen. As soon as we get up to 250,000 likes, we will come off of sub only. So if you want to join the conversation, keep tapping the screen or grab a subscription. Kay, did you kick somebody out of the box, or did he just leave? Did you see who was in a request?
There was one request after the boxes were closed, and then as I came up, I saw somebody else in the box, but I didn't pop that person. But boxes are closed for tonight.
Yeah,
so.
I know, but I was gonna ask if we could bring that person in, but now I don't see him.
Aw, that's so sad. Maybe he could go sell his CMOS somewhere else.
Whatever.
We don't need that tonight.
W's in the chat for boom. All right, no. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Absolutely not. Don't.
Yeah. So I just
Corey, did you kick
question.
Boom? No.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sweet Pickles.
No, I had a question for Kay. So So I guess my point is and living in a very small, area my whole life, born and raised here, my husband, my son. I sometimes think that, in all honesty, they just go with the flow of what everybody around them does. You know what I'm saying? They follow the group just to follow the group, kind of like and I hate to say that they're adults, but sometimes I think they just do those things because they don't want to be in. I don't want to say embarrassed. I don't know. Some men are just very quiet and don't want to talk about those things. I'm really open and I try to get them to be more informative, and I try to show my husband, look, this is why you shouldn't vote for him. This is why you can't do this. You got to stop. You are not voting in your interest. And I don't know any other way to make it more clear. I mean, do you have any ideas to make it more clear? I mean, how do you make that any more clear than just flat out showing them this is why?
Well, I mean, I think conformity is something that is innately such a problem in our society. The need to be accepted, the need for, group thinking instead of, making individualized decisions. But, one of the things that like I got from how you were speaking, and this
Welcome
might just
back, chat.
be, a little bit of, thoughts on meeting people who have spoken the way that you have, is that there was the most highly qualified candidate running for president. The most highly qualified candidate running for president who owns and is an advocate for pew-pew rights. The last person who did anything to take any portion of those rights away was the man that they voted for.
But see,
So
they don't know that stuff. I
Hold
tell them things and they don't.
on a second, Sweet Pickles.
right, but
And
ignorance
now
is,
I'm mad at Kay, but go ahead and finish the point now, Kay.
but ignorance is not like, that's not an excuse. Just because they don't know it is not the excuse. When we have these conversations and like Santana says, hey, bring them in, they don't have to join the panel or anything, but they should be listening outside of the small rural, group thinking area that you live in, so, I can't speak to your certain, household and its dynamic, but the most qualified person ran. And it shows a lack of understanding about misogyny and racism and things like that. Listen,
and I understand.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. Hold on,
Kay,
Pickles.
you said you weren't going to say what I was going to say, and now you done said all the things that I was going to say. Now I don't have the things
Listen,
to
you
say.
want to roll out? I mean,
Go ahead and finish it. Go ahead and finish it.
I even
Hold on, because
asked them those questions.
I think you really need to hear this because, God damn it, Kay, you're good. Excuse my language. Hey, Mom. Kay, go ahead and break it down, Kay, because you just nailed both of the things. Go ahead.
So, when he asked you, when Santana asked you, what about, like you telling them, hey, you are voting in direct conflict to my rights, to other people's rights, and in your own best interest, you're not voting for it. For them to be dismissive of you over what appears to be a single issue it's mind-blowing to me, because it just shows an absolute disregard for you as a woman. And I know that these things can be hard to, I couldn't do what you do. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. If my partner did not feel the same way, I'm sorry. I'm leaving with what I came, and that's it. I couldn't do that. I could not be overlooked as if my rights didn't matter. And I definitely couldn't come to some understanding that we're just not going to talk about politics because it's a touchy subject, or they don't like to talk about it and they hold it close to the vest. That is out every single day to talk about, because these things absolutely affect other people, and people who don't look outside of themselves make choices personally that affect a lot of people that they may not know, but that they should care about.
But sometimes I understand what you're saying, and I hear what you're saying, but I sometimes believe that it's not, you know, my husband and I are older, so there's a lot of things that you forget when you're growing. I mean, politics most of the time has not been like it is the last 10 years. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
It has been so.
I'm old.
So. Yeah, so it's been so crazy the last 10 years how things are going in the whole issue with Trump. But
it wasn't him, because before it was him, it was the Tea Party. And before it was the Tea Party, there were already people who were fringe on the right that wanted this to happen. So it boggles my mind, like, not being able to see it. I mean, going all the way back to, oh God, I choke on his name every time I have to say it. But going back to Reagan, like, it has been progressively worse all the time. And so we can say that, like, oh, well, this divisiveness hasn't been here, but it really has, because people are just frustrated. And now we've gotten to a point where just, like, we have somebody who desperately needs help running our military. We have a president who could be bought. We have all of these different things happening, and people are losing their absolute, like, threads to be able to live. And I appreciate the fact that this is, like, how you feel, but it's bigger than you or your family. It's bigger than me and my family. And I have an adult daughter, and she had to have super hard conversations with her partner about how, you know, he was going to vote and how their relationship was going to handle that. But
well, and I appreciate that you are one of these people that maybe can walk away, but the job that I do, I need my husband and my son's help. I take care of two severely disabled people, severely, like total care. One of them weighs 80 pounds. The other is a little girl, and she weighs 45 pounds. And they do so much for me and for what I do. They have a heart and a soul. They're not like MAGA, like what you would think they are. My husband doesn't wear a hat around. My husband doesn't brag about any of it. Neither does my son. And so they're not, and I sometimes think that there is definitely a MAGA out there. I see them. In fact, I live next door to some that are definitely like that. My neighbor flew a flag in his yard that said F Biden on it. But we are not like that. My husband, he's a good man. So is my son.
Really quickly, though.
Hold on. I want to do this. Hold on.
Finish my point and then just
no.
I don't want to engage.
One second, Kate. This is what I want to do. Omega, I'm gonna drop you down. Okay? Omega, I'm gonna drop you down. Thank you for coming up. Let me read these off real quick. W's in the chat for Barbara. Barbara sent a $20 donation saying, for being so cool. Thank you so much for that $20 donation, Barbara. You are absolutely amazing. W's in the chat for Vicky, who sent a $10 donation saying, please don't bring up Boom. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to bring up Boom. Also, W's in the chat, for the carbon rate that we got over on Twitch and also over on here on TikTok. I'll just say this real quick. So Kay hit my points. Like I think there's a lot to be said. The fact that you were willing to actually bypass the rights of your mother and your wife in the sense of, you know, pew-pews when Trump actually did violate pew-pews, and then even more so, you had the most qualified candidate, and it was, you know, telling that they were willing to vote for Joe Biden instead of actually voting for Kamala Harris, right? With that being said, we now have Corey, we have Fletch, and we have Rockin' Mom up here with Kay. I would like to, allow this to be a community conversation. So that's why I got rid of Omega. I'm going to take a back seat. Kay, Corey, I'm going to let you guys drive, and I will, of course, rock and roll Mom and Fletch. You guys can join in, but I feel like this is a conversation that needs to be had. So I'm just going to take a back seat to the rest of you guys. Or ladies, I'm sorry.
Well,
we get your point.
First, so she can finish.
So what I would say is, first of all, if anyone's going to understand taking care of people who cannot take care of themselves, you're talking to the right woman, because I lost my son a couple years ago, and I do understand where you're saying that you need your husband and your son and you need help. But I'm also going to tell you that your neighbors who wear clothes, fly flags, are the same as your husband. Because when they walked into that ballot box, they put the same name on that. So it doesn't matter what they wear or what flag they fly, or if they're over here, like going to rallies. When they walked into that ballot box, they voted against themselves, you, and the people you're taking care of. And I think that it's very important, and it can be very upsetting to say that he's the same as them, because I'm sure in your heart, love is different than, voting. But at the same time, excuses are excuses. And if he truly did feel that way, that you were just as important, he would have showed that. And I know that you think that it's easy for me to say that I would walk away, but I have, and I've done so, and I will keep doing so, because I will not share space with people who think it's okay to have an oligarchy running this country, that don't look out for the people who need help or to be taken care of, or who don't want health care to people. Like my son, because he wasn't able-bodied. So I get what you're saying, and I appreciate that. I hold space for it, but I give no grace on it. Corey, feel free.
Well, I mean, you said the things that I had, but that was pretty much my same point. Is they voted the same way, so it doesn't matter. That what that tells me is their pew rights are more important than your rights in general. Their pew rights are more important than the two people that you just said you take care of. Their pew rights are more important than all of the people being harmed by this administration. They voted the same exact way. They are the exact same people, whether they are helpful to you or not. I'm sure that your neighbor who has the flags and the hats and all of that, I'm sure there's a lot of people that think that they're really nice and that they're really kind and that they're really helpful too.
So I understand what you guys are saying, but I am going to totally, again, disagree in regards to them, because I think the people that are out there, some people do not really understand. They think that America is protected when it's not protected. They don't think this can happen when it is happening. It's like telling somebody that they have cancer and they don't believe that they have cancer until it's so bad that they just have to finally look at it and face it. And no, I don't want to say I believe that there are a lot of good people out there that are that way. Yes, did walk in there and vote for him, but they didn't vote for everything that's happening. You hear so many times over and over again how they sit and say, we're not going to touch Social Security. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. And I know what you guys are thinking. The same thing I think. That's bullshit. They are. I can see it.
They
They're
told
doing
us.
it.
They told
I
us they were going
know.
to.
I
They said it.
understand that. I understand that. But when did you get to the point where you realized that this was happening? I mean,
I'm
does it?
27. Okay. And I've known since my first time voting, I was 18 and I voted for Hillary. My second time voting, I'm not gonna math that right now, 22, and I voted for Joe Biden. My third, I've known it was happening since the first time he ran. I've known what he's been about since the first time he ran, and not one of those times have I made that decision. And just so you know, I live in an area that's super red. I hunt. I own pew-pews. And never once have those things been more important to me than my rights and the people around me. Never.
Okay, but I'm just going to say this. We're women, they're men. There's a difference.
I'm going to jump in
What is
your
that?
defense, Sweet Pickles. I do feel like, I don't know, it's a little bit harsh because we all walk in different shoes, and there are certain things that are going to trigger and pull people over to the other side. And it might just be actions that take place or more rights that are stripped away. But I feel like sometimes it does have to hit a little bit more in a personal manner, and not to say that you shouldn't have very high awareness and understanding and respect for your partner, but it might be something that they're not necessarily, it's not something that's of high discussion in your household. And so it might not be something that they truly understand the risks that you have. And it might be, whether it's rights that women are losing, but it might not be something that is affecting you personally, Sweet Pickles, so it might not be on the forefront of what they're seeing. But I do feel like there is a difference between people who are reachable and can see reason, and they're not caught up in the cult, as I call it. And there are people who are in the cult, and they truly do believe that he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue, and they're fine with it. Sorry, yes, they can pew pew. But so I can understand both sides of the argument here, but I just feel like it's tough to come in with, judgment on something in a situation that we don't have all the pieces of that puzzle. And it does tend to be, something when it's affecting them personally, or they can see it from another vantage point, or from like discussions that they have as a family to say, hey, this is something that we are risking, and we are starting to lose more and more of our individual rights, our freedoms. I feel like they will be more reachable. That's just my opinion.
Rock and Roll Mama, would you like to join in at all?
Yeah, well, I'm not married, never have been, never will be. So I don't, wish to speak on someone else's relationship, but I can say, first and foremost, your ballot is your ballot. So it's you, unless there's something different in your family or the way you guys vote, you can still vote your conscience and your reality. The idea of now, like with my dad, he was, definitely anti-choice. Now he is a, black military, a retired black military man, and he ended up having two daughters and then a son. So his view is a little bit different, and he, I think he still doesn't necessarily agree with, say, AB, but he now understands that, his daughters might need it, type of thing. So I think that in terms of having family that thinks differently and believes differently isn't necessarily uh, what is what I want to say? It doesn't necessarily have to be a doom and gloom type of thing. I think that if you just, and I don't know your dynamic, but living by example, um, you can go in and, you know, give your perspective in your vote and do it that way. Um, and so it's tough. I mean, I can absolutely understand. My dad and I have disagreed on lots of different things, but we all basically vote this, for Democrats. And, having two daughters, I think helped him vote for um, a woman for the first time in his life. So I just think that you pick your battles. I don't know if it's that necessary to bring them to the other side. Um, but it's just, I think that's the way you have to express yourself, and you can talk about it. I don't know if, like, when I was younger, the news was, the nightly news was always on. My dad was in the military, so these things constantly came up. And, we lived in Germany when the Berlin Wall fell, type of thing. So it's, I think it just takes time, it takes progress, but don't mute your voice in terms of how you would like to see your future and your family's future. That's my biggest,
Well,
advice.
and over the years, I mean, we also have two daughters, but over the years raising our kids, we never had time to sit down and like watch the news and get into politics. It wasn't something we ever did. The only time that this became an issue of everything that's going on right now was when Trump started getting into all of this and how horrible things were just spinning out of control. And I feel things really super spinning out of control when he was first elected. And my husband, before I never asked him how he voted. He never asked me how we voted. When we got together, it wasn't stuff that we discussed, in all honesty. It was not, we kind of out where we are. We live a sheltered life. We don't sit and stew on politics and TV all the time. It was never our life, in all honesty. It was not. And I made it become our lives when, after the first time Trump was elected, and then I started paying attention. Honestly, I started paying attention as to what was going on, because I've worked the same job my whole life, up until that point. And so I honestly believe that there are people out there like me that don't have time. We didn't, you didn't know. And then I started questioning my husband, like, I know who he is, and I figured he voted the way he voted because of his dad and his family. And, they were raised every day, Sunday, went to church, la, la, la. I wasn't that way. I was more open. How we ended up getting together. But I don't want to say that there's not hope. My husband is a very good man. In all honesty, he is a good man, and so is my son. And so I don't think that we should write those people out of the picture. If you write them out, then you're losing good people that eventually, when they see the light, come to the reality. And you can't. There's hope for everybody, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. So, hey, chat, you guys want to see something really cool? Like, I'm gonna share something with the chat that most people don't know. All right, and this is gonna be super interesting. Kay,
Yes.
would you like to tell the chat my thoughts?
What do you want me to read your mind right now?
You do it all the time. The floor is yours.
Okay. So, I'm going to just speak for me for just a quick second because I want to reply to one thing. When I first said that I couldn't do what you do, which is stay in a relationship with somebody who would undermine the values and stuff like that, that was a me comment to you. I could not do that. I am not saying what you should do or whatnot. What I am saying is that there is, in the words that you are saying, some deep internalized misogyny that I think you really could work on yourself, even without anyone knowing about it. Because you've made comments, and the last one was, we're women, it's different. They're men. And it's not different. There's no difference. And you defending your husband, that is a very normal thing to do about, him being a good man and he's not like the other Trumpers and, all of that. Listen, I don't feel that any person who voted for Donald Trump has redeeming qualities. That's my own personal view. And I know that Santana and I disagree on that because he has given oodles of grace to many Trump supporters during these conversations. So I think that anyone who watched his first presidency was like, you know what? I want more of that. And then they didn't get it right away. And so what did he do? He became more animated, more vocal, more unhinged, made bold claims about what he was going to do right now. He's said all of the things. And so when you say, when did you know that it was going to spiral out of control? Out of his own mouth. Before the election, he said he was going to do these things. And Trump supporters said, nah, he's not going to do that. And most people who regret their vote have come up here and said exactly that. And the people who come up now and I've seen usernames, I've seen all sorts of things that were like former Republican or former this. There was nothing wrong, like you said before, about being a Republican. There was nothing wrong with being a Democrat. But at this point in time, there is no more Republican Party. It's a bunch of yes men and yes women who are just so lost in willful ignorance and not talking about it and not having conversations about it. That's never going to be okay in my book. So these are just my personal thoughts and not speaking for, Democrats. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a straight up communist. So I, work with Santana on his platform. I am so far left, your head would spin. But I definitely think you need to look into finding out why you think that there's such a big difference between men and women and why you would make comments about, well, they're men and we're women and it's different. It's not different for me. So
I think you misunderstood that. I don't think there's a difference between men and women. That's not I did not mean that in that way. I meant like, so how can I explain this? Because I am very outspoken. I tell my husband exactly how I feel. I'm honestly surprised that he hasn't walked out on me because I am so straightforward. I don't take any shit. I never have. I make more money than he does. Well, he's retired now. He's never told me what to do. He's never told me how to dress. I don't believe in any of that shit. I am very, very strong-headed in everything I do. In fact, some people probably look at our relationship on the outside and go, well, we know who wears the pants in that family. That's how strong-headed I am.
That comment right there is internalized misogyny of who wears the
No,
pants.
I'm saying somebody on the outside would see
And I'm
it.
telling
I
you
feel like you
that-
think like that I'm not strong enough to stand up for myself, that I think there's a difference.
Nope.
And I do stand up for myself.
Really
Never
defend
once said
her,
that.
and you should probably just listen to the words that she's saying.
I've never made a judgment on the type of woman you are, just on the words that you've said. And saying that, you know, someone from the outside looking in would say she wears the pants, that's an internalized misogynistic statement. Because you're conforming into gender roles and who would do what and who does that. And the last thing I would just ask you to take note of, and we are way past, you know, overtime, so I would like to make sure that we kind of tighten up and let everyone have their final words, so we can get out much. But what I would say is I would ask you to kind of look at the privilege that goes along with, you know, your situation, and you know how you like you've admitted you've grown up in a bubble, and I think that has a lot to do with it. And I think that people, you know, that don't grow up in bubbles or decide, hey, I live in this bubble, but I need to check out other bubbles. I got to figure out what's going around me. I got to figure out what's going on outside of my state, outside of my, you know, neighborhood, whatever. And I would just implore you to take some extra time and do that. And Fletch, if you'd like to address me personally, please feel free to. You don't have to do it in the comments. You're on this panel too.
I'm definitely listening, and the only thing I will comment is responding to what you said about anyone who voted for Trump not having any redeeming qualities. I don't think that's fair.
Fair comes in the falling.
Sorry, say again?
Nothing. Go ahead, Frank.
So that's the only pushback I would have. I just feel like we are so eager to judge each other. I get where you're coming from. Like I said, I can see both sides of this, but I don't think it's fair to quantify or classify an entire, like, 50% of people that voted as having no redeeming qualities. I mean, that makes it a pretty unhopeful situation we're in. So I'm
going to correct you to 22%, because 22% is the number of the population that actually voted.
Right. I'm not saying
not
population.
50%.
I'm not saying population. I said of voting, and it wasn't 50. It was 49, whatever. So I agree, and that is incredibly disheartening to me. And I do have many family members, including my own son, who did vote the way that I was horrified to hear that they did. But I have plenty of people that are good people. They're not bad people. I feel like they might not be informed enough. They may not. I feel like they are being bombarded with absolute lies. And I don't think it's an easy situation. I just think it's wrong to say that there's no redeeming qualities in those people. That's where I disagree, and that's where I have issue with. Otherwise, I completely understand, and I do see your points 100%.
Okay. I don't know why Judge Much needed to be in the chat then.
It was the chatter in the chat. It wasn't directly to you. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, well, when we're on the panel, we focus on the panel and not the comments.
It's only my second time doing this, so
no worries.
I'm a rookie.
Sweet Pickle, what I would say is, like, the passion that you had in the last 45 seconds of what you said about, you know, what kind of woman you are, honestly, I would just use that voice and say, like, hey, it's time for us to educate ourselves fully. And if they don't want to do it, then that's willful ignorance. But
so I have, and I did before they voted, in all honesty. We talked a little bit, prior to it. So I do voice my opinion, but I'm not, I don't, how do I want to say this? Because I don't.
Just say it with your chest, friend.
So I, like the other gal said, there are people who you can't give up on everybody. If we give up on everybody, then you might as well just give up on America. I can't give up. It's like, and maybe you're okay just walking away from somebody and giving up on people. I'm not that way. I think that we all learn and people grow and we change, and we have to grow and change. And if you stop changing and you stop growing, then we all stop changing and growing. And we're in this predicament that we're in right now in America because of a lot of things. It's not just one thing, it's a lot of things. Trump was a symptom of it. And when it came to fruition, it just hit wham, and it hit everybody. And there's so many, people looked at our government and was like, no, this could never happen. And I stood back and said, yes, it can happen. These walls can break down. But I think people thought that they couldn't break down.
At
Go
what
ahead,
point
sorry.
do we draw the line and start giving up on people then? Because if you in the last 2 months, not even 2 months that he's been in office, the harm he's caused is going to take so many years to fix. At what point then do we say, okay, well, it's time to give up on these ones? Because I've been there. I'm done. I have no interest in associating myself in any way, shape, or form with someone who voted, regardless of the reason why, for that man and for what he stands for and the harm that he's caused. So at what point are you going to say, okay, well, it's time to draw the line and give up? Because for a lot of us, we're at that point. And why is it not, like, I'm not being judgmental. I'm pissed. I'm upset. I'm angry. And it's just, that's, yeah. When
I'm
are you
pissed,
going to draw the line
and I'm
start giving up?
upset, and I'm angry as well. I'm extremely pissed and
Just
upset
not
and
angry
angry.
enough to address it?
How would you like
stop
me
defending
to
it, maybe?
address it? I'm not defending it. I am not. I am just saying that I came up here and I put myself out there and from a different perspective to let everybody see from a different perspective that there are split households out there. I'm not the only person that this is. And growing up, I'm going to be perfectly honest, Santana, is that okay? Really quick, like?
If you're going to say it with your chest, say it with your chest.
Okay, so growing up in school, the way I always felt like we were taught is that Republicans and Democrats were split. They were split because of two things.
Split by
They were
what?
split because of pew-pew rights and because of choice. And most your women would vote based on choice because they always, from a woman's perspective, being a woman, I know how important it is to have choice because it's my body that's affected. And I never really, being a girl, and here we go, the stigmatism, I know you're going to say it, I never cared too much about a pew-pew. I just didn't. It's not something I cared about. I was a girl.
But you're a woman and not a girl. Can we not say
No,
girl?
no. When I was a young girl. So I'm talking about younger. When I was
sure
in
that
high
you're talking
school.
about that way.
Yeah, I'm talking about when I was a young girl in high school. I never thought twice about pew-pews. Now, young boys in high school, they didn't think about, because they're not a girl, they don't have a girl's body, they didn't think about giving birth to a baby. They might have thought about having children. They're in their thought, in their head, running around in where I live. The biggest thing in their lives were going hunting with their fathers, those kinds of things. That splits us in a sense. That splits a man and a woman, or men versus women, because you're a man and you're a woman. And so that naturally just happened as
since I was 8. Am I a man?
That's not what I said. I went hunting too.
So
that's not
I
what
just
I'm
want to point
saying.
out that believing that is where the party is split is coming from a place of privilege. That's not that's not what splits the parties, especially now.
Corey, what do you think? I thought the split was going to be. Corey.
The isms.
Damn right, the isms.
That's where the split is.
And damn right,
And the people that recognize that are either the people that were affected by those things or the people that pay attention.
So what are isms? What are you talking about?
Racism.
Sexism.
Sexism.
Classism. Let's not forget about classism.
I don't. Xenophobia. We don't have any of those issues in my family. I know lots of.
Wait, hold on. Sweet Pickles. You said you don't have any of that in your family?
No, I said I don't.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always
That's not
lying?
what I'm talking about, Santana.
Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean, or just because it's not in your face doesn't mean that you don't have it in your family. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, that's not what I meant in my family. I think you misunderstood what I was saying. So first off, I live on a reservation. I mean, come on. I live around lots of people. I mean, I don't have.
Hold on.
I'm not a racist. If you're going to call me a racist, I am not.
No one said you were a racist, Pickles.
Pickles, I'm going to stop you. Are you an indigenous woman?
No, I am not.
Okay, then you're not going to tokenize the land you live on.
I wasn't tokenizing it. I just live here.
Okay, I understand, but by you living there doesn't mean that you're not racist. And it is t-shirt time, so if you want to join us again next week when we talk about intersectional...
Can't stop giving up the game.
Listen, because I want people to come who have lived in a bubble like Pickles and come and talk about it, because I think Pickles is very genuine.
I do too.
And I hope that she will come and join us for next week, because I think it's going to be great. But I'm imploring you to come back Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week.
So let me ask you a quick question. Why, when I try to talk about myself, you use that to demonize me? Answer me that question. That's how I feel right now. That you're taking things and you're demonizing.
We're not going to do that.
I'm not. I'm asking a question.
I just said to you, I think you're very genuine. I never demonized you. I have said that I want you to come join us next week because we're going to do some education on deconstruction and intersectionality and how things intersect with one another, how misogyny plays a role in our lives, how the patriarchy works, how racism works, not by definition, by its utility, how it works. So it is not personal to you, but because you have admitted to living in a bubble, I'm asking you to come and climb out and join us for what will be an excellent week of education. So there is no personal attack, but I need you to understand that just by saying, I live on a reservation, I'm not racist, in itself is tokenization and part of inherent racism. So
no, I was trying to explain to you that I don't live in a bubble because I live here and I see it. I see it with my own eyes. I'm not oblivious to what people do to other people.
So
that's all I was saying.
Do you want to learn, or do you want to just keep defending yourself? And
no, I have learned. I'm not playing a victim game, and I don't feel like a victim.
But you sat here and said, I'm demonized, I'm this. You've gotten really defensive in the last minute and a half. And I'm asking you, I'm giving you an invitation to come and learn about something next week. And you want to keep telling me how you see it and that you know, it's not in your family. I'm sorry. As a white woman, and I'm just going to ask straight out, are you a white woman as well?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so white woman to white woman, I'm asking you to come to this education next week because it is very apparent that there are some intersectional things that we need to work on, so that maybe when you are using your voice, that, you understand where we're coming from when we talk about privilege and when we talk about these things. But you, as a white woman in Wyoming, like, saying that there's no racism in your family and just putting that out there, like,
I did not say that there wasn't racism in my family.
okay,
Now you're taking
now
that out
have
of
I lost my mind?
context. I did not say
Just
that there
listen to
wasn't.
the words that are being said for just 2 seconds.
Actually,
Kay is
no,
being very patient with
actually,
you. I'm not. I've lost my patience for you. Kay has not. Kay is being very kind and very patient with you. Can you just stop and let her speak and listen to hear and not to respond for 2 seconds? She got
Pickles.
the verbiage different than how you said it. Sorry, that sucks. Can we move on, and can you let her finish?
Sweet Pickles, can I just chime in here for 2 seconds? I do feel like living in Wyoming could indeed be its own bubble. It would do you very much good, I think, to participate in what Kay is talking about next week, which I don't know exactly what that is, but it sounds like it would be good for everybody.
And let me tell you how genuine Kay is with that offer. First of all, Kay giving up the game because, like, she knows that I don't like to announce stuff, right? And for her to actually go ahead and give up something that we are super excited about, just to actually extend this invitation to you, it's super genuine. Like, so I promise you, Sweet Pickles, just like, get off your back heels for a second and just listen, because I'm just trying to make sure you understand, like, the place that she's coming from. She's not coming from an attacking position. She's coming from a very genuine position that she was willing to actually go ahead and tip our hands and tell you this. Like, I promise you, it's a big deal. Like, yeah, just listen, because it's really genuine. And it's going to be amazing. Fuck it, we're going to talk about it now. It's going to be a great week, because even I know that I have a ton to learn, and I'm super excited about it. So, yeah.
I really do mean it genuinely, that I want you to rejoin us next week. I do. I think that...
Well, it would be great if you could let me know when next week. I actually have a job full time, so I would need to know times. If you could give me some times.
Right. We all work here, but we're here every night, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for late nights, and it starts at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time,
11 p.m. Eastern,
and 11 p.m. Eastern, because God
3-hour
knows
block.
it's 2:30 a.m. And so it's there. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays is when we do late nights. So I would like you to come and join us. I think it's important. You don't need to be part of the panel. We're going to be doing a lot of, different things, just like chat wise and stuff. And the more that we get, like tomorrow when we do the live, I'm going to ask people to bring a couple things with them so that they have stuff ready, so that they can work. But all told, I think that, like, having this conversation, there are households that are divided. I couldn't do it. That's just me. But I also have cut off family and am absolutely no contact, and I want nothing to do with them, because their vote spoke volumes to me. It spoke about the communities that I set foot in on a daily basis, the communities I work hard to uplift, voices that need to be there. Those were all disregarded. So I am not going to put those people in my life. I understand if you're in a hard position and you need your husband's help. Everyone's not capable or able to do, what I'm, do for myself. But I do have a line. So I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong. I just couldn't do it, which is why I said I couldn't do what you do. It was not a remark for everyone else to say, like, well, you should do it this way, or, I just couldn't do it. I know my limitations.
And I also know that my son and my husband are very good men. And I know them
I
and you
disagree.
don't know them.
I disagree.
So
I disagree.
you
I'm
don't
sorry.
think they're good?
No, and I've been holding my tongue. I'm just gonna say this because it's way past my bedtime, and I'm like a gremlin. If you feed me after midnight, bad stuff happens. With that being said, no, your husband and your son, they're not good men. Maybe one day they can be good men, but the fact that your husband and your son were willing to actually throw away the rights of not only yourself but multiple marginalized people, whether it's people of color, whether it's people with disability, whether it's the queer community, multiple people where Donald Trump was openly advocating how harmful that he was going to be towards multiple communities and towards the actual country at the same time, and they heard all of that information and sat there and said, "Oh, I'm gonna actually, vote for my pew pews." But more than likely, they stood back and said, "Oh, I'm going to protect the patriarch because I'm a cis white male and I need to make sure that we keep the white men in power." Like, yeah, I'm sorry. They're not good men right now. They could be one day, but they're not. Their vote, Kay said it. Yes, I am not someone that thinks that, that anyone that voted for Donald Trump doesn't have any redeemable qualities. I think Donald Trump doesn't have any redeemable qualities, but I do think that certain people have those quote unquote redeemable qualities, but you have to actually recognize what you did. You harmfully, your husband and your son harmed all the people that's on this panel right now, including you. Every single woman on this panel, me, your husband and your son actively voted to harm everybody up here. So no, they're not good men. That's just my opinion. And opinions are like Escalades. And as Young Jesus would say, everybody got one. Fletch, any last words for you?
This has been great. I appreciate you all. I think I definitely am happy to have a heads up about next week. I'd love to tune in. This is like I said, the second time I've really been in a live chat, and it's not usually my thing, but I do feel like having a voice and using your voice and listening to others is always helpful. So I do feel like there are redeemable qualities in people, even who made that horrible choice. And I feel like we need to take our efforts in reaching out to them and helping them understand. Many of them just don't pay attention to it at all, which I fit into that category 8-10 years ago. But after being very informed, I just would love to be able to share that information with them and hopefully just bring them to the other side. But writing them off and not allowing them to, be a part of your life, I feel like, potentially that just harms everything in my opinion. But I would rather use what we learn in these chats and how we can support each other to just bring more people into that and to see, like you said, that Donald Trump has zero redeemable qualities. So thank you all. I appreciate it. This has been fun and it's been an education. I love it. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Thank you. Have a good one.
Good night.
Rock and roll mom, anything from you really quick?
Oh, well, I was just gonna hopefully she's still listening, but
Sweet Pickle, she's still here.
Oh, she is? Okay. Oh, Sweet Pickle. So, Kate, is that thing that you're doing, would that give Sweet Pickle some verbiage where she can maybe more effectively speak to her family about?
So deconstruction and
Kate, don't give up all the game. Go ahead though.
You yell at me.
Y'all not gonna be up here ruining my topics and the show that I got planned. Anyway, go ahead.
You know what I would love to see?
What's
that
that?
mute button right over your picture there. That's what I'd like to see. Just in general, deconstruction and decolonization are not political topics. They don't talk to the left or the right. They talk about the intersectionality of communities and decolonization from a standpoint of great scholars that have done so much work before us, and how communities coexist and how they function, and then how all the isms and phobias kind of overlay and connect. So it's not a political discussion.
Yeah, no, I
And
know what that intersectionality is, but I was just
right.
wondering if
I
if
do
she,
think it will help. In my opinion, I think it will help, like at least describe feelings, or be able to talk about other intersectional topics with people who are focused on one right or one thing that they may or may not have voted for.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's just
Absolutely.
what I was thinking. Just she might get something out of that.
She will. I think so. I think
So
everyone
Kay,
We all
will.
will.
I
So
have a
hold on, hold on one
question.
second. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Rock and roll mom, thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for
Have a good
being
night.
here.
Yeah.
So a
Sweet
quick
Pickles, floor is yours.
question to Kay, and then I'm going to drop down.
Yep.
So if you're going to do this panel next week and you think everybody is lost, then why do you do panels like that?
I don't think everyone is lost. I'm
Well,
sorry.
that's what
Could you
Santana
restate
just
your?
said, that my husband is lost and that they're
Is your
horrible
is your
people.
wait is your
So,
husband and your
no, I'm
son
just asking
everybody?
in general. I'm
Wait,
just
wait, wait,
asking
wait,
in
wait. But
general.
is your husband and your son everybody, or are they two specific people? Because I didn't say everybody. I said your husband and your son, and I stand on that.
So,
But my point still stands then. What is your point in doing all this other stuff if you don't believe that people can be helped?
I never said I don't believe people could be. Did you hear? I said
did you
that
hear her say
today.
she wanted to ask Kay a question before she dropped? I love you so much, but STFU. Um, because Mama's listening. Hopefully she went to bed.
She's not. She's up all night. Like, go to sleep, lady. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, Pickles, what this conversation is for people who want to learn. So people who want to deconstruct from the systemic racism that this country is been built upon, the patriarchy in which it was founded on, misogyny, misogynoir, which is probably a word that you may never have heard of before. So there are a lot of topics, and it is for people who want to learn, who want to do the work, who don't want to live in a bubble, and who don't want to continue the cycle that this country has perpetuated against the people. So if you don't want to learn, you don't have to take my invitation, but I didn't invite your son or your husband, and probably for good reason. But you, like I have said multiple times, seem genuine and seem like you would like your voice to be heard more and maybe want to learn a little bit. So that's why the invitation was extended. It's up to you to take it or not.
Yeah, I would like to say, tell your son and your husband to come to sparring. We do that on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tell them to come to sparring. I would like to talk to them there.
They don't do this stuff.
Yeah, tell them come see me. I'm sorry.
They don't.
Any last words
All
for
right.
you, Sweet Pickles?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Yep, thanks. Bye.
You and Corey are going to get to do that outro.
No, nope.
I
Nope.
don't.
Both of you are staying here. Let me read these off real quick because these have been waiting, and then I'll let you guys go. W's in the chat for D-Spec, who said he sent $1 donation saying you got to play Why You Lying for that lady. Listen, I beat you to it. W's in the chat for D-Spec, who also said, Sweet Pickles, why you always lying. W's in the chat for Christopher, who sent a hold on, let me read the other one first. Where is it? I missed that one. W's in the chat for Christopher, who sent $1 donation saying, can I please get a... No, you can't. No, I'm not going to say that. You always glaze the Lakers. That's because the Lakers is the greatest NBA team in the history of greatness ever. So I'm not going to say that. So...
Sorry.
Whatever. W's in the chat for Christopher, who also sent a $5 donation saying the facial expressions are elite. Also, thank you for ignoring my last donation about the Jazz. Yeah, there's that. All right, so... Yeah, Kay, you're obligated to say now since you gave up the whole game for next week. That is wild. That's wild.
Grandpa, I see you in the chat. I hope you have a good night.
Corey.
Mhm.
Corey. Final thoughts.
I don't have the patience that I think
That
I'm
Kay
gonna,
does.
when I come up here, when that Kay does, and I always think that I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna have a conversation and it's gonna be so great, and then they talk, and then it's gone immediately, just like that.
Cora
The
said, "I'm
second
not.
she started with the defense of them, I was already done, and then the poor me and the tears and the why are you being mean to me? I can't handle it. I cannot handle it. I hate it
Corey,
here.
I'm going to tell you a secret. I was not always like this, and Santana knows. I can also be very quick to see that there isn't going to be that conversation and not even engage. But there is a woman, Susan, who is my partner in business when we do these workshops and these teachings, and she'd have a lot of grace with me and a lot of patience. And it's been over 2 decades since I started my journey. And so I always, like, when there is a conversation to be had, I always just remember her saying, slow down, take a breath. And it like replays in my head. So, if it
Well, you
wasn't
can
for
be my
her,
Susan.
I just, um, I'll introduce you to Susan. She's amazing.
You're
She's
amazing.
not in the TikTok, but she's pretty amazing, and we do great work. So, we usually see people who fail the trainings of the DEIA programs, who say insensitive stuff and want to keep their job real bad. So then they have to come see us and learn some stuff. But it doesn't always work out. But it is hard to be patient sometimes. But I really, really, hope that people will join us, and we'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow just to tease it out, and then I won't give any more secrets away. I apologize.
I can't believe you did that. You know what's funny? When you said come back next week, I was like, why wouldn't you say come back tomorrow? I was like completely taken aback when you said, oh, yeah. Anyway.
Because I think sometimes some invitations need to be had, and I don't want it to. It's not going to be a debate. It's not going to be, us debating these things. It's just about educating and, having conversations. And I want invitations to be sent out, especially to people like Pickles, because I do think she was genuine.
I do
think
too.
It's a hard life to live when you feel one way and your partner feels another, and, I can't do what she did. So
I'll say this, Kate. Like, I think that you clocked it perfect, right? And I think it's a lot of things that she doesn't get the grasp of, and I could hear her saying those things. And I'll just say this, right? I attribute my ability, in which I'm not the greatest as far as like hearing the words or hearing the things and saying, oh, you know what, that's what this is. But I've gotten better because of you and because of our community and our platform. And I definitely think like she doesn't hear herself saying the things, right? And she doesn't get it, but being around that and having that exposure gives that opportunity. So I think there's a lot to it. So I completely agree with you. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of value, not only for her, for everyone that's watching, and even for me. Like, I'm really, really, really excited about intersectionality, just because I know that I still have a ton to learn, and it's such a great opportunity to grow. So it's going to be really good.
And can I just say one more thing about next week, so that the chat understands? It absolutely will not just be me teaching it as a white woman. We are going to have some other people, because white women don't teach certain things.
I'm gonna teach
we
it.
know our place. No, you are not. We know our place and what we do teach.
Look who back in the course.
Oh, come on.
Go ahead, Kay. I'm sorry.
Hey, Boom. It's so great to see you. You know what? It's so late and we're so tired that tonight you're just going to have to go find somewhere else. Have a good one.
You have a good one, too.
wanted the chat to kind of freak out just for a second. I couldn't do the CMOS tonight. I couldn't do the female trees tonight. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I love you all, and I appreciate all the gifts. Please, if I'm ever up here, please don't gift me. Always gift Santana. And I do appreciate y'all putting up with me. Corey, I love you so much. And like to the mod team tonight, like you're like the best people ever. Like all of y'all. So the chat, thank you so much. Like I know that we put some time limits on you and you even went to sub only, but thank you so much for all the taps and the donations and all of that. And yeah, I'm taking all your lines, but I'm just so proud.
It's all good. You see what Boom said?
It was such a, oh, well, thanks, Boom. Oh my God, that was like a whole thought out thought. You're so welcome about the transparency. We're just so tired tonight. We just can't do the CMOS. Sorry. But I got a lot of ashwagandha going on, so I might not sleep. But anyway, I just thank you for having me up tonight, and I love our community, and I love all the people. So
this is so much. This is so much fun, and it turned out to be something different. It's always like that when we do that, but thank you for coming up and hanging out, and to everyone that was requesting up, because I know a lot of people, like the box exploded. Yeah, I mean, I purposely kept to where it was, but I really appreciate Corey and Kay, you two doing so much heavy lifting. You both did that's such an amazing job. So thank you, and yes, thank you to all the mods. You guys were amazing as well. So all right. I really want to do a thing, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a thing because this person still has someone on their panel. So
who is it, real quick, and I'll go see if I can fix that.
It's like the new creator that I just followed. I'm gonna send this to you. Like I really want to do a thing. Like, okay, chat, don't leave. Like if you leave, you hate puppies and me. And which I'm cuter than puppies, but like whatever, don't leave. This person, so yeah, I am. I'm way cuter than puppies. This
Sarah,
person
we'll be on TikTok too. Go ahead.
Say it again.
No, I was telling Sarah we'd be on TikTok too.
Oh, so this person is someone that I have, like, it's super interesting. You guys know how like you just kind of scroll, right? And then they're talking to Third Reich, which Third Reich is a chump or whatever. Anyway, I put it in the chat, Kay, or in our chat. Anyway, you guys know how like you're
dropping then. Good night, everyone.
Yep. Good night. You know how like you yes, I am cuter than puppies. Where did Corey go? Why did Corey leave me? What in the world is happening? Okay, don't leave, chat. Don't leave. Like Corey left. Now everybody is gonna think that like it's over. It's not over. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Anyway, you guys know how like you're doom scrolling, right? You're on TikTok and you're just like kind of scrolling and you're like, what's happening? So I was doom scrolling and like I kept coming across the same person and they were just like debating and I was like, I like this person, right? And I did the thing that people always do, like when you sit around and you watch the person but you don't actually follow them, right? So I was watching and I didn't follow. And another night I was doom scrolling and then the person popped up again and I was like, I like this person. And it took about, all right, it's only about 495 of us hanging out here. I'm gonna tell you a secret. I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. I'm a little bit selective as far as who I follow, right? Because my algorithm is a little bit funny and I just like, it's a thing. So I don't just follow people, right? I don't just follow people. I'm really like, really funny about who I follow. So I went a couple of nights. And I want to say it was like 4 or 5 nights in a row that the person kept going live. And I was like, man, like this person is with shits, got all the smoke and it's just absolutely, absolutely amazing. And so from that point, I was like, okay, I got to do it. I got to do it. And I ended up, no, you put the fries in the bag. I ended up hitting follow. And like I'm really hoping, I really want to do a thing. I really want to do a thing, but we might not be able to do a thing. We might just have to actually do an old fashioned one instead of like the one that I would really like to do. But like I promise you, like this person is so freaking dope. Like I promise you guys, listen, I would never put you up on game if I didn't mean it. This person is so freaking dope. Like just absolutely. Absolutely. I think we're just gonna have to do an old fashioned raid. I think we're gonna have to do an old fashioned raid. I think we're gonna have to do. Oh wait, hold on. I got a thank you to read off. W's in the chat for Lilith. Lilith sent a $10 donation saying, "I freaking love what you do. Thank you for being with. Thank you for being with us." Of course, Lilith. Thank you so much for that $10 donation. You are absolutely far too kind. Far, far, far too kind. You are absolutely amazing. Okay. I think what I'm just gonna have to do, give me a second. I'm gonna put the creator name on the page. Let's just go do an old-fashioned raid since there's talking to third power or whatever. Like this guy sucks. He's not a good debater. Give me a second. I'll put the person's name on the page and we'll just do an old-fashioned raid. But I need all of you to go. Like, don't squirrel. Yeah, she's not responding. Like, don't squirrel. Right? So I'm going to put the name and I need you guys to go. Right? I need you guys to go. So, like, hold on. Let me do this. Seriously, like, if we're going to do this, I need you guys not to squirrel, or let me at least try. Can you guys, like, just, again, don't leave, because I know, like, for some reason you guys, like, do the things or whatever. Hold on. So let me see. Does anybody else notice when I go into like lives, I use all caps? When I go on lives, I definitely use all caps. Okay, cool. Okay, guys, I need you all to do the things. Like everybody, I need you all to do the things. Okay, here we go. All right, perfect. Okay, what's going on?
Yo, we're going over the budget.
Lilith Bodor.
Oh, I know.
Budget.
Like, I've been watching you. Listen, I was telling my chat all about it. All right, chat. So this is what I need you guys to do. I need everyone to tap on the other side of the screen. And we're going to do a Santana raid. I need to see all of my numbers go over. This is the amazing creator that I was telling you about. Like, I was telling him how I've been doom scrolling and watching you for the last couple of nights, and I finally gave you a follow. I'm really stingy about my follows.
Thank you.
Yes, I need everybody to jump over. Everybody, all you have to do is tap on her side of the screen, and then at the bottom, it'll say watch live, and all you have to do is click on watch live. I need to see all her numbers going up. Now listen, chat, when you get over, there's a couple of things that we need to do. I need everyone, 1, to make sure you're following. 2, tap the screen. 3, make sure you send the daily heart me. It's only 1 coin that helps boost the live. Also, 4, make sure we are gifting the host. Do all the wonderful things. I need to continue to see the numbers dropping from my side. There's still 400 something people hanging out. Everybody get over there. Leave. What are you guys doing? Hurry up. You guys are embarrassing me. It's t-shirt time. Get over there now.
Santana. If you guys aren't following Santana.
Listen,
We got
guys.
sweats for you guys.
She has like the most amazing graphics and sound. She really capitalized on studio. You know me, I'm very basic. I am very basic.
I love it.
Like, she absolutely has it going off. That's what I'm talking about. Keep going, guys. Tap on her side of the screen, and then at the bottom hit watch live. Get into the chat. Make sure you follow her. Santana Raid. Send your heart me. Tap the screen. Send the gifts. Do all the wonderful things. That's what I'm talking about. Somebody just sent a galaxy. Let's go! All right, guys. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. All right.
Yo, thank you for the dailies. Oh my gosh, yo, Santana, thank you so much, my friend.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna let you get back to your debate. Third Power is a sucker. Like, he's not. He's not
we're
good.
ready.
He's not good.
We're ready.
All right. I can never remember how to get out of co-host mode.
I got you. Don't even worry.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'll see you later. All right, the rest of you suckers that are still hanging out here, I'm disappointed in each and every one of you. I'm gonna tell your mama. Matter of fact, where your mama at? Where your mama at? I'm gonna go. Don't LOL. No, like, what are you guys doing? Anyway, all right. I love you guys, and as always, peace.
Here, leaving.
Hello. Say that again.
I said, how are you? Sit down. Good.
Good. Just